tell you the picks real quick. So our first pick is going to be from Sinister Academy. They're going to pick Oregon. Powerhaus is going to pick Coastline. Our decider for tonight could be Villa, should we reach the third map. So, I mean, I'm excited for it. It's Oregon, which we saw earlier. We're going to see it again. But I believe we are ready to go ahead and jump into the match. The match looks like it's going to be starting for us right now. Sinister versus Powerhaus on Oregon. Moving into the operator band phase.
Well, we'll see exactly what we're going to see. Powerhaus banning Blitz. That's actually very smart against Sinister. Honestly, we've seen a lot of Dokkaebi, a lot of Blitz, a lot of sort of those AIDS ops from Sinister. However, I think as of late, they've actually kind of played a lot more reserved in terms of what how they've been playing, I guess I want to say. You know, they've played a lot more of like the standard sort of lineups. Next band's going to be up from Sinister. It's going to be the Glass. Nothing too crazy, honestly. I don't know. I don't even know what I would consider crazy right now. The Legion band from Sinister does tell me that they do want to play like a Monty or a Fuse Shield. Because come on now, the only reason you're banning Legion is because you want to bring a shield.
Exactly.
We all know it. Oh, this is going to be fun.
And Valkyrie being banned as well. So it's a solid Intel operator and a C4 operator is going to be off the board. Not sure if it's really going to cut into either of these teams' plans for this map entirely. Sinister seems to not care at all about those attacking operator bans, immediately locking on to their preferred operators. A pretty standard lineup, but they've got a Capitao and a Dokkaebi. So those two combined could give potential for, you know, a smoke plant, or they could fire out the person that is sitting behind the mirror in closet if they're playing downstairs. But it looks like Powerhaus is going kids' dorms and dorms main hall. And there it is. There's that shield.
I did decide to six pick it. I was wondering. I was looking at that Blackbeard, and I was like, something doesn't look right here. Like, you ban the Legion, and then you bring a Blackbeard? Like, yeah, no, definitely not surprised about the shield pick whatsoever. But I know it can be deadly, honestly. I'm honestly surprised that they're not bringing the Lion as well, you know, for the Capitao. But hey, we'll see exactly what they have in store for that. I fully expect Sinister to just run up the front stairs with that Monty and just walk into Master, kill anyone in Master and Armory, and then go walk to the hallway, and then go for a smoke plant probably while they push the Monty through. I could see it, or they might even protect the planner with the Monty. It'll be interesting to see exactly what they, how they decide to execute with it. But I'd be wondering, it's probably going to be like an East take.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Zappin on Capcan. He's going to be running around over here on the west side of the map, planting some of those Capcan traps, taking that one back after he was spotted, putting himself in kind of a risky position. Luckily, I don't think any of the attackers spawned over by Junkyard, but he easily could have been shot right through that window the moment the round started there. They're going to get rid of that shelving, give Mira a chance, or whoever's playing that mirror window, a chance to really play towards Generator. Some more Capcan traps getting set up over on the east side of the map. Looks like Rudy has already made his way into rear stage, and he's walking right up to this Vigil, which is going to be non-loading. He's an addict, but he's going to run away and go prone over there. He's probably waiting for our Rudy to maybe drop his shield and try to push in, but the shots are going to be going from Capitao, maybe trying to get rid of that. The C4 flying over is not going to find the Monte, not loading, trying to get a solid angle to shoot at him from, but he's not going to find it. And Smurfin is going to get the first kill of the match on the aim, and now not loading is going to fall as well.
Very, very quick succession of kills. Coda is going to trade it back immediately to Smurfin. He is actually playing. What is that angle? Where did he shoot him from? It had to have been, you know, through pantry, but he managed to find himself reloading inside a bathroom. So good job there to actually trade it back. However, the damage I feel like has been done. I mean, your Mira, one of the C4s is gone, as well as the Vigil now. It's really going to be, yeah, the Monty right at the Generator door. He just gets to sit there, and he gets to call out, you know, everything he sees. You know, we do only have a Habana, but this actually could go pretty well. They have the Habana, not the Thermic, because they could Habana off that mirror should they decide to. There are batteries that they will have to deal with. However, they are already at runway window, so not too big of an issue either. So the first smoke comes out. I'm not sure, maybe that was just an ADS test. I'm not sure exactly what the plan was for that smoke. Another smoke comes out, 2 smokes are coming out. Looks like this is going to be the plant attempt. 1 gas does come out to try and counter this. The entire site is completely smoked out. They're not exactly sure what is happening. This seems to be just a fake almost in some ways to try and prevent it. Now the diffuser has now entered the site. It is going to try to plant right on that mirror. However, that last gas canister is not hitting the Habana. This means that it has been planted. We will see sipping on OJ is going to find one. Aviation finds another for himself. It's all up to the smoke and the Capcan to make it happen. However, Powerhaus has actually pulled it back. It's now up to RTC versus 2. Snappy will be able to finish it off there as he clears it out, and Powerhaus starts it up 1-0.
Aviation, you're supposed to shoot the other guys. So, I think Oregon seems to be the map of team kills in CCS. Potentially just because we see it almost every night, but I think I've seen the most team kills on Oregon out of any other map that we've ever seen in CCS.
Yeah, you might not be wrong. I mean, I would love to see the statistics on it, honestly. I think that'd be good. That round should have been Sinister's. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. They kind of just threw it away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish they would have had some underneath control a little bit more. I mean, they had sipping on OJ was right below the diffuser, but he decided to go up white instead of just shooting and spamming below the diffuser to open up the hole and then playing the vertical game. By just pushing up white, you're just going to give away a lot of advantages, honestly. With that diffuser there, just stick a drone underneath the diffuser or just somewhere that they can see if they're diffusing or not, and then already have a pre-opened hole, or even just spam whoever the guy is diffusing, and there you go. And then you can play it that way. RTC can play the horizontal game while you have Sippin' on OJ playing the vertical game. I think that was just a little bit of a miscommunication there, and maybe he just didn't even think about it. But hopefully they rewatch that round at the very least and figure out exactly why. I mean, it started out pretty decent. I mean, you got in Smurfing, we got 2 kills there, but besides that, it just it pretty much fell apart from there. And I felt like their plant was just very, maybe not lucky, because they did get it off fine, but I don't know, it didn't really seem like really solid in my opinion, because like I said, the post plant after it just got destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, once they walked into site, everything kind of fell apart for them. You had Aviation with the team kill, you had the plant go down, but there was no cover once the plant went down. They kind of just opened themselves up to dying, and they died as a result of that. But moving into this round, you see Rudy on that Montane again, focusing on distracting Coda, who's playing this mirror window looking towards Pantry. So he's going to completely stop any rotate that could come through there. And he's actually kind of distracting the Jaeger. They don't have a Twitch that's going to be able to go in and open up that mirror window. But, hey, it's still a solid distraction against the Jaeger. It makes them waste their time on something that, you know, is probably not actually going to go anywhere. I think Smurfin took a little bit of damage through that drone hole there. It's a little unfortunate, but it happens sometimes. He seems to be just fine. Yeah. Rudy making his way towards this meeting doorway here, the double doors, and he can't really push in because as soon as he walks in there, there's going to be a crossfire between Coda and not loading, and that's going to cost, you know, him his life. He does walk in and get a little aggressive there, and there it is. Oh no, RTC actually is going to be the one that falls. Now a smoke canister and a C4 are going to go in and take out Rudy, and Powerhaus is in a very strong position to start off this round.
There we go. Immediately traded back. Sipping on OJ is just going to go ahead right into sight. I actually do really like this play. If it does work out, he finds one. He's immediately going to go for closet as well, but he's not going to be able to find Zappin. Not loading is going to find one as well. Aviation is right there to kind of trade back onto Zappin, and now he needs to get the diffuser down before the rest of the defenders can collapse on him. It looks like that is exactly what is going to happen as Coda finds the kill onto Aviation, and certainly not what we expected to see off the start of this game, don't you think?
No, I mean, this the rounds seem to start in a decent spot for Sinister. They're able to clear in, get some ground, do what they need to do to get in position. But once they go for the execute, things are really going south, and it goes south quick. It's not like, okay, you know, something's happening and they slow down a little bit. No, they just lose everything. It's not working out for them so far. maybe they'll change something up this round. Played a little bit better, played a little bit safer. The Powerhouse is going to be Kid Storms and Dorms Main Hall once again. So, maybe Sinister is going to go for a plant in generator and play vertically like you suggested before.
I don't know if that's okay. That is one little that's like a nice change to make up. However, I think at this point, I don't think that's enough to really solidify them doing the exact same take again. Hopefully for them, Powerhouse doesn't reinforce that mirror top white. And the reason I say that is because that's kind of Sinister's cue to go and plant there. If you do end up, putting that mirror there, so yeah, they did put a reinforced mirror there. You need to put it low. And the reason why I say that is because if you know there's someone planting, if you put it low, you can pop your own mirror and then be able to kill a planter that way instead of having to rely on utility or something else like that. But you know that Sinister really is probably going to go for that, just going in for the plant right next to that mirror is because it's such a safe spot to plant. Like, why wouldn't they? So you need to have kind of like a plan for that. And their plan for that should be some sort of vertical pressure. I personally would have brought a pulse. However, if not a pulse, just have someone with C4 down below that knows where that spot is right next to the mirror. And as long as you know where that spot is next to the mirror, you should be fine. We do see aim down there as well, so he could potentially pull it off if he does stay alive. Last time we saw the exact same thing happen. Sinister's just going to go in through big tower. They're going to start taking control. They're just going to start clearing out the roamers. After this, they're going to start going for meeting as well. I do like what this Legion is doing. Not loading. Smurfin's going to start things off again. That's going to be Zappin just peeking a little bit too much. Not loading, like I was saying. I did kind of like what he was doing. Just starting off killing the drones, but he's kind of overstayed his welcome at this point. And yeah, no, he is immediately picked off. I'm not going to say this is going to be Sinister's round because we've been punished for that before in this exact same situation where Sinister starts off, they get 2 picks, okay, cool, but then what is their plan after that? And their plan right now it should be to try and hunt out the rest of these roamers, and where they're at is downstairs. Take downstairs control, and you can completely just demolish any sort of site presence that you can see just from below. Now they do only have a Zofia, so maybe going underneath is kind of meh, but whatever. We'll see exactly what happens. Maybe open the mirror from under and then go from there.
And it looks like they're going for a similar take as before. They're going to go ahead and open up that closet. Smurfin now making his way through attic to support Rudy, who has made his way all the way down attic and is now blocking that doorway from any shots. Coda sitting inside of Kid Storms, looking towards meeting to make sure nobody tries to rotate through there. But Sippin has already made his way up the main stairs and is now in Armory Corridor. Rudy pushing in, baiting out some of those smoke canisters, some flashbangs going off, explosives here and there, more flashbangs, phones going off. Everything is happening right now. Rudy has lost a little bit of health. I'm not actually sure when that happened, but it looks like maybe they're going to commit to trying to get a plant down. Snappy does drop a smoke canister through that little hole in the floor, and that gives it a nice position to really try to be able to stop a plant that would have been right up against the reinforced wall, but that's not where the plant is going to be. Aviation is going to go ahead and start getting that plant down while he's covered by some smoke. And the diffuser has actually gone down. Both phone calls have been used up. Zofia is on this big window over here firing some shots, but not actually going to land anything. Powerhouse, Smurfin, now he finds the shot onto aim. Wow, this is not looking good for Powerhouse. You got 2 people that have to go for a retake while they're actually still on site. They have to retake the other side. But Smurfin is going to shut down Snappy now as well. He's going to jump into the main dorms there, and he's probably going to get spotted out. Ooh, some shots going back and forth here, nothing landing. Smurfin gets taken down by Coda, and then Montaigne blocking that rotate through the door is going to force him over here, and Aviation is going to get the kill onto Coda as he tries to rotate. He got completely funneled right into Aviation's reticle there.
Yeah, that is more of the Sinister that we're more used to seeing. Actually able to pull off wild plants like that. And normally that wouldn't happen, or that wouldn't work for a lot of other teams, but they make it happen. I will note though, I did like that little smoke from under the reinforcement. I thought that was pretty cool. A little neat way there to stop the plant. I gotta, put that in my back pocket.
It's been on stream now. Everybody's gonna know.
Yeah, everyone knows.
I am ready to go into every single ranked in casual game for the next week and just see that happening.
Oh, I don't know if we're that popular.
Hey, we might be. But yeah, I mean that was a strong round for Sinister. Definitely organized chaos in a sense, if that's what you want to call it. Dangerous
Yeah,
is one thing to call it.
I could see that. It's a lot of relying on the smokes, and I feel like if there was just a maestro just in the right one maestro in the right spot at the right place could probably stop a lot of that. Now, how would I do that? I don't know. I don't know where I would put it where the Zofia can maybe stop it, because that's what the Zofia is there for, is to basically deny the maestro, deny any bulletproof cam so that you can't get any side into that smoke. And it is very effective just going and planting in a random spot. However, I kind of have a feeling that like if they had a C4 at top white instead of the smoke, like if they had like the gas canisters coming from kids and then they played a mirror or some sort of C4 inside of or like top white, I think that'd be much better, because then you could just C4 an entire like area instead of just, you know, gassing them off and just hoping that they're not in your area of gas, right? You know, gas off the like the generator door plant, but then, you know, C4 the small dorms from that way, and then you can also run underneath because you've made a big hole for it. Regardless, though, we're getting into round number 4. A Sinister, pretty much the exact same lineup we've seen before. They are still running stick smokes. They're running the Habana and the Zofia. Pretty obvious what they're doing. Aviation is sitting on the front door, so not loading is going to come up, and he should die. Nope, he escapes into the garage, but well, he is still stuck regardless. So everyone on Sinister is just going to go running on up. The question is, do they have the drone on him? No, he actually managed to escape. I'm not sure how that happened. You should have aviation at front door to be able to stop that, but I guess he let him escape. A little bit of a miscue there, I feel like. Regardless, Sinister is going to start collapsing on the site now.
I think it was. I think aviation actually broke off a front door to try to spray into garage, maybe get some shots that way, but it just didn't work out. And Rudy has just been harassing not loading this entire round so far, just following him all the way from practically from electric room all the way upstairs here, and he's actually made him rotate through attic, and then OG. Sippin getting a nice shot on his sap in there, putting Powerhaus down a man right now. Smurfin is at about half health, and Sippin has taken a little bit of damage as well, but it's not really going to be anything too fatal just yet. They are opening that wall already, I believe. Powerhaus has not loading, running through the basement, potentially to come back up main stairs. He's going to get the shots on the Smurfin, so Smurfin is going to fall, but now they have the intel. They know that not loading is over there, and they're going to be watching for it. Sipping on OJ is going to be sitting at the top of these main stairs watching for that rotating vigil, trying to make sure he doesn't get up and get a solid flank. But Coda is going to make his way into attic, and he's getting himself into a pretty solid position. But that diffuser is going to start to go down. Snappy goes to throw that smoke canister again, and Coda has been marked. The Montaigne has found him and is blocking his shots. The diffuser has gone down. Not loading, has to make his way up these main stairs while Sippin is still over there. But ooh, not loading with a nice shot there onto aviation. And he's going to find Sippin on OJ as well. It's Rudy Cat and RTC right now that still have to fight this out. Rudy on the Montaigne is going to try to get a little aggressive, but it's getting really risky, the position that he's in. DeKB trying to land some shots. It looks like aim has been down. Snappy. RTC finds Coda and not loading. It's a 2 versus 2. RTC now takes out aim. Snappy. Coda gets Rudy somehow, but Snappy going for the defuse. RTC is going to come over. He's going to land the shots, and Sinister is going to take round 4.
RTC, man, with the quad. Finish it off, man. What a play. I got to say, that was really impressive. I wish I could have seen it from RTC's view. Maybe eventually when we get 10 spectators, I think that would be absolutely amazing. Bet you those shots were just all over the place, but he was finding the kills and he did the job. Gotta say, great job from him. Sinister, they've proven that they are very proficient at getting the plant down. But again, it's just tough because in those post plant positions, like not loading should not be able to get 2 kills like that. And honestly, he did a really, really good job. You know, he got caught out in classroom, still got the kill. You know, he kind of had the drop on the guy inside of like Armory, but still, even then, I think it was Sippin. That's still a gunfight that you should really never win, and he still won it. So great job from them, or great job from not loading, honestly, to be able to equalize it out and give his team a fighting chance. Unfortunately, RTC in Master had other plans. Regardless, we're going into the last round of this half, I believe. It's going to be round 5, and it's actually going to be a tower hold from Powerhaus. They deliberately have picked like tower I'm not exactly sure what their plan is behind this, but I think it's just got to be to throw off Sinister. If they can't stop a plant in small dorms, I'm not sure what they think that or how they're going to stop a plant inside of tower. We'll see exactly how this works, but basically the idea is that you play heavy in meeting. If they go for an A plant, you'll be able to smoke and C4 from the stage. If they go for a T2 plant, you're supposed to get them usually from attic. However, you got to say, and you got to pre-patrol T3. How do you hold T3? You have a roamer on the west side covering your south and your west repels, and you basically don't get spammed, you don't get naded, and you don't get jumped in on. That's pretty much the plan with that. If the attackers can get the very top of tower, T3, then that is going to be it for you. There's really nothing much that you can do against in terms of planting inside of T2. Sometimes you can get cheeky and hop in Zig. We'll have to see exactly what Sinister has in plan, because like I said, they've been very proficient in getting a plant down, but I'm not sure about tower.
I mean, you've got Rudy on the Montane again. He's already harassing a couple of the Powerhouse players. So you got Not Loading and Zapping over here, trying to set up a crossfire. Not Loading has already taken damage, but they have not put any damage back onto Sinister. Anyone. They haven't put any damage on anyone on Sinister. And Montane is just standing there. The phones are going to start to go off. That's going to give a lot for Sinister to work with. I don't think they're really going to push in just yet. A smoke grenade is going to come out to try to deny something. Montane's starting to push in. A C4 is going to come out, but it's not actually going to get a kill. Not Loading has been downed. Coda has taken some damage, and down goes Zappin. I don't think they realize that Coda is down, or that Not Loading is down just yet. Coda at around half health, and that's Rudy Cat walking in there, or Rudy walking in there and just kind of bullying people with that Montane. There is nothing that Powerhouse has been able to do to really stop Rudy on this Montane.
Yeah, it is just so deadly. And there's that West Room that I was talking about. That West Room is there to protect T3. If you don't have a West Room, you can safely get up on the south and west repels of Big Tower, and it becomes infinitely easier to take T3. Once you take T3, then it's as easy as just going and planting in T2. However, it looks like Sinister has now taken control of Attic. The question is, how are they going to get this Maestro out of T3? I think they've now kind of discovered that that's an issue, and they'd be like, oh, okay, so this is something that we got to deal with. That Dokkaebi should probably get up on Repel and get up on the South Repel, and that should be it for him. They haven't quite made the connection yet that's something that they need to do. They also know where Snappy is. Snappy's going to get blinded, but not before he gets a gas canister thrown out. AIM is going to finally find the Montang. The Montang is now off the board, but AIM still has free reign here over all of T3. Coda's going to find a kill of his own onto Sippin. That's inside of meeting. The phones are now ringing as RTC just runs in. I'm not exactly sure what this plan is. However, AIM somehow goes down. That's going to be a Smurf and finishes him off as RTC gets a kill onto Snappy. It's going to be all up to Coda. Guys, T3 is now clear. They are not quite sure. Maybe they're just now realizing that the diffuser is outside the window with 15 seconds remaining. Coda could make a really sick play by pushing up and finding the planter if Smurfin is not able to properly cover him. But there's really only one way they can come from, and he is being concussed at the exact same time. The diffuser has gone down. Not much Dakota can do right now. He just needs to go and find a way up. He decides he's going to go into Attic. I believe this has been spotted as the Zofia Smurfin is looking in that direction, and there it is. The head goes off of Coda. Sinister takes the last round of this half.
That kind of went both ways. It was going at first when they were able to take out Not Loading. They were able to take down Zappin over in main dorms. It was definitely majorly in favor of Sinister right after that, but there were a few kills there, especially with AIM up top dropping people. He dropped Rudy, who's been going off with that Montane, and it started to look like Powerhouse had the potential to take it back, and then it just kind of fell apart. They had the chance, and they just kind of blew it. They had their chance and they blew it.
Yeah, that is I guess that is a good way to put it. But now it is going to be Sinister is going to be on defense, and now it's Powerhouse's turn to try and take a stab at attacking some of the sites. We will be seeing downstairs first. Nothing too unusual about this defending lineup. Castle is fine. They're probably going to be playing inside of meeting. Got the Jaeger. Like I said, everything is pretty standard here. Now, the fact that Powerhaus does have that sledge is good for them, because if they decide they want to push out meeting, they have the tools and they have the equipment that they need to do everything. They've got the Twitch as well, so if there's any sort of mirror that's stopping them, guess what? That Twitch drone is there. RTC starting by putting up a castle inside of kitchen door. That's kind of interesting. A little bit, maybe they're trying to play a little bit more out towards kitchen and bathroom. Yes, indeed, as an impact also comes out from RTC. A little bit of an interesting setup, but I like it indeed. Another castle is going to go up on that front meeting. I'm not sure where the third one is going just yet. Maybe it went on the backside there, so I haven't quite figured that one out. But regardless, I'm sure it is to help the overall goal of winning. We'll see what sort of take Powerhaus decides to do. Most of them are set up by the front door, so hopefully they'll do a west clear. There's the third castle.
Yeah, so it looks like the castle is there mainly to lock down the entrances towards meeting, and then really the only easy way for Powerhaus to breach into meeting is to go through that the regular barricade on that kitchen door there. So kind of trying to funnel Powerhaus into one area. Not sure how well it's going to work because Zappin is on that sledge. So he's going to have the ability to open up any of those castle barricades and still have some utility to spare, as long as he's able to make it up to them. Well, nothing. Ooh, go ahead.
I was about to say, speaking of utility, like I said, you have the sledge. You can take whatever you want to take because you have that sledge. So good job on them. Looking at the smokes, they have 4 smokes. So their ability to probably front take here will be really, really good. However, what they need to be doing right now is they need to start putting a lot more pressure on site, or they need to actually start taking meeting. Because on one hand, I think they want to take meeting, but they're not really doing much to actually take meeting, if that kind of makes sense. They actually need to start doing work. If they want to neglect meeting, they need to be careful of the impact out. That is 100% what's going to happen. They're just going to impact the split door, and they're going to start fighting you from there. As well as if you don't control kitchen, they're going to run out into kitchen and into the bathroom hall, which could be a disaster for you later in the round.
A bomb has been located.
I mean, it's taken this long for anything to really happen, and there's been no action. There's been no shots back and forth. A smoke grenade went out at the bottom of the stairwell, but there was no plant that went down. AIM finds the first kill of the round onto aviation, and a flashbang going into meeting hall is going to stop the defender that was playing inside of there. A smoke canister now coming out from Rudy. 50 seconds left in the round. Not a lot of ground really been gained by Powerhaus. Don't seem like they're in a position where they can plant yet. They're going to get some more smokes out, maybe try to go for a plant. A smoke canister is going to come out. And, the shots from Rudy right through the smoke are going to get a kill. Not loading, and the diffuser is now going to be down. They did pick it back up, but then Sippin is going to take out Snappy, and the diffuser is once again on the ground. 24 seconds left. Zappin is in bathroom, making his way somewhere. Phones are going to start to get rung by AM. 15 seconds left. They have to try to go for a plant, but Sinister is in the perfect position to deny it. The phones are going to start to go off. Rudy has no more smokes left. Smurfin is going to find Zappin. AIM is going to find RTC. Sippin now finds Coda. AIM finds Rudy. It's a 2 versus 1. The diffuser is not going to go down, and Sinister is going to take round 6.
Oh, there you go. The first defense goes in ways of Sinister, brings it up to 4-2. 2 more rounds to go for Sinister, and they will be able to clinch this first map. I'm not sure exactly what we saw there from Powerhaus. There's a lot of just kind of playing footsies with the smoke and not a whole lot of substance in their attack. I think that's pretty clear of, why exactly, I mentioned that. But, they definitely need to just pick something and do it 100%. Not, hey, let's get some angles, over towards meeting, and then try and maybe be a little cheeky here and there. No, just if you're gonna go for a front push and you don't want to clear out meeting, just go all the way. Just get triple, double smokes. Plant somewhere weird. Grab a lion, Dokkaebi as well. Try to just do something other than putting one smoke down at laundry, or one smoke at the washing machine, and then just hope that they don't get smoked out. Now, if you bring enough smokes, if you bring 8 smokes, yeah, you might be able to get away with that, but I doubt that it would really work out too well for them in this case. Regardless, Sinister's going to be upstairs now for the first time, so we'll see exactly what their setup is.
I mean, Powerhouse really just needs to pick it up on the attacking rounds. It's okay during the first minute of the round to kind of drone it out, get a feel for where you can and can't go, maybe try peeking a few angles, go for a few gunfights. That's okay. It's okay to be indecisive during that first minute. But after that first minute, you need to commit. You need to make a decision. It's like you just graduated high school and you immediately need to decide what you're doing for the rest of your life. It is a huge commitment, but you need to make it. And it seemed like Powerhouse was just not ready to make that decision there, and it slowed down and just fell apart for that point. Sinister upstairs is going to be dangerous for Powerhouse to go against. I don't see this really going in favor of Powerhouse unless something wild ends up happening. You've got RTC playing here inside of meeting alongside sipping on OJ. They have that wall opened up there so they can get an angle. And Coda's still outside of front doorway. And it's Powerhouse once again kind of figuring out where they can and can't go. Zappin does get a kill onto Rudy though, so that's a nice first kill from Powerhouse. It works a little bit for them, gives them a bit of a favor. That's the smoke off the board too, so that's kind of okay. So I said it gives them a little bit of power, but it actually does give them a lot of ground because that smoke could come in huge later on in the round. 2 minutes left. They need to make a decision at this point. As I was saying, they need to decide which way they're attacking and what they're going to do to make sure that that attack succeeds.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of like this. This is kind of interesting. They're doing almost a full meeting hold, but you got to remember the site is upstairs, right? So like they're doing a full meeting hold basically in the hopes that they can hold down Kitchen from the pantry mirror. And look at that, Smurfin getting the call out from his teammate. He's going to go out. He's going to find Zappin, but not before Zappin finds another kill. That's going to be on to Aviation this time. So AIM is now outside of the generator door. We have another 3 defenders unaccounted for. It's going to be a lot of work for the rest of these guys in Sinister. There is almost no plant denial. It's just going to be purely on their fragging ability. And here comes one attempt, and it's going to be a little bit coming up as Simon on OJ finds one, but he's going to be immediately traded back by Coda. I'm not sure why Coda is downstairs, but I guess he is. He's just chilling down there. Smurfin and RTC have now kind of retaken the site off the back of the pressure of Sippin on OJ. Looks like we're going to see the IQ go big window. That's a good choice. There's still 50 seconds, plenty of time to work with if you're the attackers.
Yeah, I mean, this is Powerhouse is just kind of drawing it out now. That it's a 3 versus 2. They have a decent advantage. There's no plant denial, but Smurfin with the headshot onto AIM, that's going to take him down. But Snappy does get the headshot back on the Smurfin when he goes to beat that. It's now a 2 versus 1. RTC inside of Dorm's main hall he's going for the fight with Coda. A grenade is going to fly in there. It's not actually going to take him out though. There's that mirror window pop that you were talking about. But whoa, Snappy is gonna get the shots onto RTC.
What? Was that not a headshot? Might have been off to the side, but yeah, no, that window they needed to pop it just a little bit sooner, and I think Smurfin probably could have found the angle through the grates as well to maybe stop the plant. He did a great job, you know, obviously getting the kill at generator door, but a little bit of that was definitely winnable as well. All I'm going to say for Sinister Academy is that was definitely a winnable situation that they could have won, I guess. That's all I got to say. Just open the mirror a little bit earlier and maybe work on killing the planter as soon as he starts planting on that mirror. And then maybe you might have a better shot at doing that. But yeah, I am definitely going to be rewatching that kill through the mirror. That was a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, that was rough. I think it was a slight desync there between the mirror window opening and the server registering that the mirror window had been opened. And I think by the time the server had registered that, you saw the thermite had stood up first and got an out of headshot position. So it's a little unfortunate, but in the end, I didn't actually see what the timer was at. It might not have had a huge impact on the outcome of the round.
Oh yeah, no. He definitely still planted while the like mirror was up. However, that's still like that puts it onto a one-on-one, and then you can maybe actually start doing it. But yeah, no, that was That's a little bit of a yikes. Regardless, Sinister's going to be back downstairs. Last time we saw Powerhaus, they really didn't show anything. Oh wait, no, they're going back upstairs. Excuse me. Last I said downstairs because I saw this meeting setup. It's just so weird. But yeah, no, the meeting setup. I don't know if I like it, honestly. It's so much utility over in like a place in a map like that doesn't help at all. Like, yeah, sure, you might be able to hold down kitchen a little bit longer, but it still doesn't protect kitchen. Like, you can still get into kitchen door, you can still get into bathroom, and you can still get rid of anything you want to. It's just they're just sitting and meeting. Like, I don't really agree with the setup, but maybe they have a better idea of what's going on than I do. We'll see exactly how Powerhaus decides to play against this.
I could see it being an attempt to bait out some of the attackers to try to push meeting or to be a little bit more cautious of attic, but I do agree that it does seem like a lot of utility used on a section of the map that you can play this site without having control of. It looks like aim on this Blackbeard is going to be outside a big window already. He's holding that position. 2 minutes left in the round. And Powerhaus needs to make a decision on what they're going to do, when they're going to do it, where they're going to go to. It looks like Zappin is going to be committing to trying to take Armory. He's going to make his way into there, not loading his taking control of Master Bedroom. They notice that there's the hole in Attic. He's going to get rid of that barbed wire. But there's nobody in Attic right now. They're in meeting. Snappy going ahead and opening up this closet wall. So that's going to give them the ability to move into generator, go for a plant in generator if they need to. Rudy Cat still standing means that they have some plant denial on that smoke, but sipping on OJ. Making his way through basement. Potentially going to end up heading up main stairs. Coda now spotting out that castle inside of meeting gives a little bit of intel that they're going to need. Smurfin firing some shots through the wall at the end of attic, but nothing really connecting. Kind of just some shots going out there. A few warning shots.
Now, I can kind of see where this meeting hold can also, help. It's like you can look up at that little rotate right there, and maybe, fight, that top ladder like generator area. And then obviously you can fall into basement and then come back up. Oh, Sippin is gonna take the fight on Dakota. Dakota was the guy outside of the front van. However, it is not gonna be enough as the diffuser does go down. Sippin finds a second one as well, but there's another one outside front door. Holy crap! Rudy finds one as well. It is now a 3-on-2 as Snappy is going to immediately trade it right on back, pushing through fire. Rudy's gonna get downed. It is a 2-on-1. Can they get the long arm though? That is the question. Yes, the long arm will start. The pistol comes up. He finds 2. Snappy with the pistol. He is going to win the round for him. Oh no. Oh no. Pushing through the fire. Rudy. Wow. Great job from Snappy. They're actually able to, to pull it out and to tie up this map.
And it's 4-4 right now. Fairly balanced scoreboard when you're looking at Powerhaus. When you look at Sinister, there's a few players that are doing a little bit better in terms of frags, than some of the others, but that's just frags. This is Siege. This isn't just about the kills. This is about which team is better at executing their attacks on a site. You don't necessarily have to land all of the kills to win a round. You can get the defuse, or you can, run down the clock. And we've seen it happen a few times already, and we'll continue to see it happen. But, Powerhaus definitely putting up a fight right now against Sinister. A bit more of a fight than some people may have been expecting, but a fight nonetheless. And it's proven to be a pretty exciting match.
Yeah. Especially a long one, if not exciting. The site, I believe, is going to be upstairs, but I do want to kind of talk about the whole meeting hold thing. That's what I was talking about with the meeting hold. Like, you're putting so much utility, so many people, so much focus on holding meeting when all of the site is completely in the opposite direction. It would make sense if you're holding meeting and the site was above you or below you. However, the site is neither. It is off and to the side, so you can't even run a pulse. You can't even play vertical. You're literally just holding meeting to hold meeting and to drop out late. You sit someone front door. You sit several people front door. What are you going to do? You can't do anything besides come up those stairs or go through a castle, and that guy front door wins those gunfights 90% of the time. Sure, Sippin on OJ was able to actually make it work for him, but it's still, it's just, I don't agree with how they're holding.
The kill from Sippin on OJ, I think, came down to some sloppiness from Coda on Powerhouse. He did miss quite a few shots that he would have had the advantage on there. And yeah, I mean, it comes down to who makes the first mistake in that gunfight. And if the person outside makes a mistake, it's pretty much their downfall. But as long as they hold steady and they're able to land their shots, there's no way the person inside is going to have any advantage towards that.
Attackers have located
The
a
person
bomb.
outside, especially with an ACOG, you have a massive advantage going into that gunfight. And Sipping on OJ managed to come out on top of that because I think Coda choked quite a bit.
Yeah.
But Sinister in the end is the one that really choked on that round, and it's unfortunate. They could have been on match point by now, but they're not. This could be us, but they playing.
Yep, so now we have Smurfin. He's here to protect Big Window. He is going to be sitting inside a small tower. I highly doubt that they know that they're there. And I got to say, Powerhouse, this is looking kind of shaky. If you are really relying on that big window, I think they have been relying on that big window. So I love that Smurfin is actually managed to get himself to that position. I think that was big window opening up from a Zofia, I think it was. I guess I'm not exactly sure what that Zofia was, but we will eventually see someone go to big window. That diffuser is not in position either. We have one person as well on attic. Yeah, so Zofia is above the big window, so she is ready to go. But so is Smurfin. The question is, does Zofia know that Smurfin is there? I guess we will see. A little bit of concussions coming out from Zappin. He's going to push on up, but he knows that someone's in attic, but will he be able to find the angle? I do not believe so. RTC can hear the footsteps outside. He's also going to get concussed at the same time, but there's going to be no follow-up. No one from Powerhouse is here to follow up on that concussion, so a little bit of a wasted opportunity there if you are Powerhouse. The actual take should be coming up really shortly as the Capital is poised and ready to go with his smokes out. Smokes are going to be coming out inside of the hallway and around. Will they be able to get the plant down? Smurfin finds one. Aviation finds a C4 on 2. Coda does actually manage to find a kill. RTC, though, isn't going to let that go past much more than 1. We'll see if he's actually able to win this one out. No. Nope. Okay, there it is. RTC is able to finish out that round, and that's going to be Sinister putting themselves onto match point.
Sinister is in a solid position to lock out this map. They went upstairs. They're more than likely going to be playing laundry unless they decide to go the Powerhouse route and go tower. It's Sinister, so there's a chance, but it looks like they kind of want to close this one out. They're going laundry supply. Solid chance that this first map is going to go to Sinister, but Powerhouse does have the potential to take this next round. I think they just need to commit to a solid push right at the beginning. They need to be a little bit more aggressive on their take downstairs if they're really going to try to bring this one into overtime. But looking at the lineup for Powerhouse, it doesn't look, they're not really varying too much in terms of their operator selections. But that's 6th pick from Sinister. Sipping on OJ is going to go ahead and swap to Echo, and now AIM is going to swap to KB. So a few changes there. But we'll see what it brings to the table. But I think it's going to be kind of a standard meeting hold for Sinister and Powerhouse. They're either going to commit to a front hold and maybe stall out at some point, or they're going to go for a back take and just completely stall out. I think if they go for a back take, it's going to be a complete stall out for them.
You know, I'm looking, at this Sinister or at this Powerhouse lineup, and that Thermite definitely, I don't know, it definitely points toward going towards the back. And honestly, going Thermite in a front take, I don't know. It's still doable. Don't get me wrong. But you really do want the Habana there so that way you can open up more angles than you can. So we'll see. I don't want to call it too early. Most of the Powerhouse did spawn on the front. So maybe they've got a plan for that Thermite. Maybe they want to open up that classroom hall. But no. Normally Thermite means you're going to go backside. But then again, like I said, the spawn positions tell me otherwise. So I'm getting mixed signals here from Powerhouse. But I'm not sure exactly, what they're planning on doing. They do have 4 smokes once again. But we've been over this before, though. Their plan is to not take meeting. Their plan is to just smoke once in the middle of the site and then just kind of hope that everything else works out. And that is really not how a front take is going to be won.
I mean, they aren't committing any resources really to meeting at all. It's kind of understandable if you're just going to sit there and watch for the flank. If you're going to have somebody committed to watching for a push out from meeting, then it's a little bit okay to kind of ignore it. But you've got Smurfing up here in attic. I don't think, yeah, he has no rotate back from those main stairs. You've got RTC, who still has an impact. He's sitting inside of meeting hall, and a mirror window just got opened down below. So Powerhaus, you know, if they commit all of their resources to pushing down with no resources watching meeting or trying to take meeting, this round could end disastrous for them. And, you know, Sinister will take this one pretty dominant and just move on to the next map. But looks like Smurfin getting a little aggressive towards kitchen here. I thought I saw, yes, there is an attacker that's sitting inside a bathroom who does get spotted by that yokai. He's going to kind of run away, but he might end up getting chased down by Smurf, and who's actually going to get shot as his phone starts to ring. So Zappin has made his way around to dining, and they're kind of calming some of that aggression from Sinister. But Sinister is still in a solid position to take this round. They've lost no one at all. You've got not loading at half health. There's no commitment to a plant right now. There's no commitment to taking meeting. It's just, it's not a good position for Powerhaus to be in.
In a last desperation play, I would honestly just rush the site. I would just say, hey, let's just smoke off some of these key entry points and then just kind of go for it and then just hope it works. However, will the plant get stuck? The plant does get stuck. That gas grenade coming from Rudy was just a little bit short, and suddenly we are at a serious possibility of going into overtime. However, Powerhaus has now lost 2 now from the site. RTC has opened up the castle, so now he's ready to play with anyone coming from split. Not Loading's going to find one on Rudy. Sippin and RTC find one of their own, and no, that is going to be it. We are going into map number 2 as Sinister closes out this one 6-4.
Yeah, I mean, Powerhaus definitely stuck in there. They kept it going. They did what they had to try to stay alive as long as possible. They fought hard, and they just, this is their first match in CCS for this season, and they're going against Sinister with a flawless record. So they did pretty darn well considering the odds. I mean, I'm pretty impressed with Powerhaus nonetheless.
Yeah, they did very well.
Yeah, but before we get to map 2, we're going to take a short break so some of us can get some waters, hit the bathroom, do what we need to do. Stick around. We're going to put some more music and some beautiful graphics up for you guys. We will be right back, though. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CCS Season 3. My name is Crazy Man. Unfortunately, due to the late time, we did have to swap out Talon, but it's okay because I've got the fantastic Flynn here with me casting the rest of this matchup tonight. Flynn, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing good. I was just sitting there watching the game. Got the message to come sub in, and looks like we are not messing around. We're going right into map number 2, which would be Coastline between Sinister and newcomers to CCS, Powerhaus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready for this. I think Powerhaus and Sinister are ready for this. The last match was, as you know, 3.5 hours long.
Yeah.
This match already is not looking like it's going to be 3.5 hours long. So that's a bonus. But Powerhaus still going pretty strong tonight, showing that they're in it to win it. If they're able to, they're fighting really hard, and it's really good to see from a team like Powerhaus.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they definitely had a few missteps on map number 1 on Oregon. I know they're a strong coast team, but man, they really got to pull this thing out. I mean, currently, like, inheriting an 0-6 record, not the greatest thing. They can't do anything about that. That was played by a different team. They're coming in their minds with a fresh start. And also going up against an undefeated team, also something they can't control. However, you would like to start the season on good footing. So even if it's pushing to map 3 and losing, that's a bonus, because not many teams have even been able to manage grabbing a map on Sinister. Sinister has been a very powerful team. They utilized the shield play quite heavily, and I'm surprised we didn't see a shield get banned out in the attackers by Powerhaus.
Yeah, I would be surprised. I will be genuinely surprised if Sinister does not bring out a blitz this time. We saw the Montaigne on Rudy last map, and it was horrifying. I would be terrified to go against that. But Powerhaus stayed strong through that. Even with Nightmare Fuel like that charging at you, it's tough to keep yourself sane.
Absolutely. So Sinister going to be starting out on defense for their first half. We have bans of Glaz, Jackal, Pulse, and Echo. Interesting bans, but understandable. Jackal for eliminating the roam clear, Glaz because he's an overpowered piece of garbage, and then Pulse for no vertical, and Echo, I wouldn't say is overpowered, but the buff certainly has helped.
Yeah, that plant denial from Echo can make the world of difference in a round. And I don't know the Powerhaus lineup too well, but the ban on Echo came from Sinister. Would you say that that's a solid counter ban against Powerhaus?
That's a massive counter ban on Powerhaus. So you have two very proficient Echo and Anchor players in Aim and Snappy, and Snappy is more of the Echo main on the team. That's a rough, very rough counter ban onto Snappy, who plays Echo almost exclusively on Coastline. So I'm not sure if Sinister read into that, if they've, I don't know, seen a VOD from possibly an ESA game, or maybe watched the qualifiers for the adding qualifier and saw that Echo was a strong focal point of their game plan, or if it was just, we don't feel like playing an Echo tonight. It's Coastline. I'm sick of this. We're just going to go without an Echo. But nonetheless, that's a strong counter ban on behalf of Sinister.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, so maybe it was a solid read, but at the same time, since Sinister is starting the first half on defense, it might not necessarily come into massive play in terms of banning the Echo to try to counter Powerhaus, because if they win their defensive rounds very well, they're not going to have to worry too much about having to counter Powerhaus on their defensive rounds too much. So. But double bar being the first site that gets picked for defense from Sinister here. It's a very viable site as long as you're able to maintain control of the second floor here. I see a lot of teams that pick this site and then maybe they don't really control top floor for some unknown reason. You see the attackers just kind of walk in there, start opening up everything that they can, and they will push all of the defenders completely out of position and just take a massive gunfight advantage going into it.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Looks like Zappin on this Zofia wants to bust into Hookah and vault over the balcony as I say that, as he could have dispatched with the soft mirror pretty easily with an impact grenade from the lifeline. You also have Sippin' on OJ to worry about on this rotate coming luggage, as I believe it's Coda breaking in, as the Twitch coming in from Aquarium balcony, trying to push an Aquarium and apply some pressure from the backside. This castle barricade is going to stop him up for a bit, but I believe that's why the rotate came out from Zappin immediately on the Zofia, and he's going to open up that for Coda to start things off on the push to the blue bars. They still have a little bit of time to work with on this top clear before they need to start focusing on sight, but they're in a good position. They just need to worry about the flanks coming in from behind by sipping on OJ.
And it looks like Twitch is going to go for the peek there, and Coda is going to land the shots against sipping on OJ. That Legion, I believe it was a Legion, was still sitting behind the... Yeah, the Legion is over by the couch there as RTC gets a C4 onto Snappy. So it's trades going a little back and forth. A lot of damage on Aviation and Zappy right now. Coda finding a nice shot onto Aviation is going to give Powerhaus a nice little man advantage for now. But Smurfin is still sitting over by the couch ability. So there's the headshot onto Zap and putting it back to a 3 versus 3. And I mean, both of these teams are in it to win it for this round.
Lots of trades going back and forth, but they need to dispatch a Smurfin behind the bar, upstairs in billiards. Immediately the smoke canisters coming out in Rudy interceptation, and RTC going to take down aim. Smurfin trades out Coda topside, and now it's all down to not loading. He tries to go in for the plant in the smoke. RTC takes care of him with ease, and that's going to be Sinister winning round number 1 on their blue bar sunrise bar defense.
It's a solid start for Sinister on Coastline. Puts them in a good position. I'm sure it puts them in a good mood to take the first round that dominantly. I mean, Coda was the only one for Powerhaus to snag any kills during that round. So it was a pretty dominant round for Sinister. And I'm sure that they're trying to keep that momentum going. And for Powerhaus, it just kind of comes down to figuring out who it is that they need to shut down in order to have solid pushes onto site.
So heading into round number 2, Sinister going to be going to the kitchen and service site, bringing pretty much the same ops. Going to be swapping to a Jaeger and... Oh, no, sorry, not a Jaeger. We had a Jaeger last round, so it'll just be the Vigil swapping out for the Legion. Roam game on kitchen service is a little bit interesting because you want to hold the top side, which would be VIP and a little bit of penthouse, but you don't want to allow an all-out rush from Sunrise, as there aren't too many flanking options that are completely covered as a defender to come back downstairs. 2 staircases, and then I guess you could vault courtyard if you wanted to, if you don't have any hatches prepped. You've only got 2 impact nades, or 4 impact nades on the castle and the Vigil, so a little bit of rotation possible through hatches, but nonetheless, you still want to be able to afford yourself some safety while rotating and trying to come in for a flank and trying to shut down this Sunrise push that usually is the most prevalent on a kitchen service hold. Going up against that, there's not a lot of teams that'll just try and push through the service door. You'll most likely see a top clear and then a push from the west side east.
Yeah, but it looks like Sinister is trying to get ready for that. It looks like they're setting up for a blue bar hold. They've got reinforcements in there, rotate through there. Smurfin playing inside of office too, trying to play a little aggressive there. But it doesn't seem like Coda is too phased by that. He's just going to go ahead and rappel up onto the roof anyways. Not loading up on DJ balcony here. Is going to go ahead and drone out Hall of Fame and probably VIP. And as you said, Powerhaus going immediately for that top floor control before they make any further moves on the first floor. Rudy just sitting tight, sipping, playing over inside of Sunrise. So I think it's sipping and Smurfin are going to be the 2 that are going to try to maintain control of the west side of the map here.
Yeah, the setup again from Powerhaus taking a little bit of time to initiate. Now you got Zappin above the hookah hatch. He's just going to see the feet of the Jaeger inside Sunrise bar. Sipping on OJ going to lose about half his health, but vaults safely. And behind the Sunrise bar is actually way over half. Doesn't take too much damage, and now the castle barricade getting opened up by a teammate, and he's going to start pushing up the pool vibe stairs. So have Zappin holding. He's going to be launching out concussion grenades. Try and keep sipping on OJ at bay, but he takes down aim. That's the Capital that was pushing through Sunrise off the board. The pings come out from the drones, but sipping on OJ's made it all the way back to site. He's going to try and go out for a rotate, try and extend this roam game. Midway through the round, losing your Capital, that's your only smoke grenade on the board. They've had a lot of trouble locking down the roam game on this round, and allowing the escape from Sinister is not a very good start for Powerhaus.
No, and I mean, they've got Smurfin sitting inside a blue bar as well. He's going to harass that Zofia on the main stairs, but Snappy is going to shut down Smurfin, so that's a pretty solid pick there. That gives them a little bit more control of this west side and gives them a little bit more ground that they can try to push in on. But Sippin' on OJ has made his way back upstairs. Looks like he's over, yeah, so he's over by Aquarium, and he's getting set up for a solid flank over towards blue stairs here. And I don't think Zappin is aware of it at all just yet. He's going to go for the peaks there. Shots are going to go back and forth, but nothing is really going to connect between the two of them. But now Powerhaus has to be afraid of Sippin, who's going to be playing up here inside of Billiards. Zappin looks to be the one that's going to commit to trying to shut down the Jaeger over here. And hopefully the rest of Powerhaus is pushing towards site because there are 30 seconds left. And Powerhaus has to make a move right now. Sippin on OJ sitting nice and safe inside of Billiards, watching Hookah. As it looks like Zappin is on the other side of that wall watching a completely different direction. Sippin's starting to make his way up here, and Zappin is going to go for the shots, but he's going to lose the fight. Sippin is going to win that fight. He's making his presence known on the blue stairs there, scaring Powerhaus a little bit. Aviation takes out Snappy, Coda takes out Sippin, RTC now takes out Coda. It's up to not loading. He has 1 second left, and there is nothing that he can really do. Sinister is going to take round 2.
So again, very slow attack from Powerhaus. Very poor control of the roam game, allowing Sippin on OJ to take that initial damage inside Sunrise Bar. Get a pick while being pinched. Rotate site. Rotate out site. Go all the way around the map. Come upstairs and apply pressure onto Zappin holding the Cool Vibe stairs. Distract him for a minute. Take out Zappin. Push back down the Cool Vibe stairs. The allowance of Sippin on OJ to simply roam free and take no repercussions for it it's a failure of containment at that point for shutting down the roam game. Heading back to Blue Bar and Sunrise Bar, again, I see a lot of trouble here for Powerhaus in speeding up their attacks. They need to start moving a little bit quickly on everything. They need to be a lot more efficient on their attacks, and one of the biggest things I can see is the lack of a soft breach. You have the Zofia and Zappin, but you saw he was conflicted on what he wanted to do the first round, whether it was breach open the castle barricades, because he only got 2 impacts, or did he want to get rid of that mirror top Cool Vibe stairs, because it was on a soft wall. Bringing something like a sledge, or maybe an IQ with nades, or a buck with nades if you really want to employ that vertical destruction as soon as you have that Billiards control. The other part of it was they never got Billiards control on their first attack either. Smurfin was allowed to stay in behind the Sunrise Bar with no reinforcements at his back. And again, no soft breach on the board. It's just Zappin's impacts to take up the castle barricades. If you had an Ash, send her to the roof, look down that giant donut hole to the back of the Sunrise Bar, rip open Smurfin's wall. He's got nowhere to stay. You got someone on his big window. You're pinching him out from the backside. He's got nowhere to run. You can ascertain that control much easier, but you're taking operators that don't really accomplish that goal.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers are heading out to defuse.
Yeah, I mean, the stall out from Powerhaus has been the biggest issue for them so far attacking. It happens consistently, and then they don't, they'll stall out, and then finally they make a move, but then they have nothing covering them for that move. They had no flank drone there to the point that Jaeger was able to just walk up right behind Sophia pretty much. So they're putting themselves into these dangerous positions, and they really need to figure out exactly what it is that's going wrong and the best way to account for that. Really, I think it comes down to better droning early on in the round, and because they're just slowing down immediately. It's not like they're moving quick for the first minute and a half, and then something happens and they slow down. It just kind of happens immediately.
Nitro Cell looks like it's going to get tossed out again. RTC thought better of it as he heard his mirror being destroyed, and Zappin going to take him down from repelled on the big window outside of Billiards. Not loading as well on the balcony, applying a lot of pressure towards the Cool Vibe stairs. RTC not feeling too comfortable throwing this Nitro just yet. Snappy's got a drone in on the bomb, going to be spotting RTC. Aviation hits him with a nice shot, and we're going to be seeing a 2-pronged push once again. 2 people trying to push in through the Sunrise entrance, and you got 2 people trying to clear topside, and Coda kind of floating back and forth in between them.
Attackers bomb diffuser has been dropped. Attackers
They need to make sure that they have the right intel before they make any major commitments here. Sippin has made his way through the south hallway, and there's a Claymore there trying to stop him, but he's going to be able to shoot that, and there's nobody there to hear the Claymore get shot and really go to cover that. He does go for a run out and gets shot at from the hookah balcony, but nothing is going to come of that but some shots between... And whoa! RTC is going to find Snappy. Rudy is now going to find Coda as well, and not loading is taking quite a bit of damage, but he is putting a lot of damage back at the Legion who's sitting over there, but he is going to fall. AIM is going to take out RTC, and then Zappin is now going to take out Rudy. It's a 2 versus 2 at this point. Sippin low on health. Smurfin fairly low as well. The shots are going to come from Zappin onto Sippin. It's going to be a 2 versus 1. 50 seconds left. Smurfin runs outside. He gets detected, and AIM just has to shoot at the window. And that's going to be Powerhaus taking round 3.
So that time around, Powerhaus, while they didn't exactly get their top control that was really needed for that, they kind of did things backwards. So they got the site control as they pick off the anchors immediately, and then it's left to the two roamers in Smurfin and Sippin' on OJ upstairs. And Smurfin's really only option there was to try and go for that crazy run that he went for. If he's trying to retake through office, like if he blew the aquarium hatch, dropped office, there was a mirror facing him that Zappin could have used in behind the couch cubby inside of Sunrise. So there was not a lot of hope there for Smurfin to retake that. And that just comes down to the anchors dying in the final seconds there. The tradeouts were in position for Powerhaus. Like, give them the credit. Once they got that initial pick topside, they left not loading on the hookah balcony and sent 4 at site. They had the numbers advantage on site, so they went for it. It worked out. I wouldn't bank on that working again, though.
No, it was definitely one of those one-time deals, but I do like seeing that Powerhaus, they made a decision and they stuck to it. They lost a few people along the way, but they didn't let that slow them down. They didn't see somebody die and then all of a sudden everyone backs off of what they're doing. They would lose one person and then just push right back in and make sure that they trade it back. And that's the kind of play that's needed when you're going up against a team like Sinister. If you're not able to trade back any of those kills in any game, if you're not able to trade back against any kills like that, then it's going to be completely disastrous for you. But against a team like Sinister, it's throwing yourselves at them like that is a very risky move that you're really lucky if it does end up working out for you. Because we saw these Sinister players last map where they would just go in and drop like 2 or 3 people while all of them were shooting at him. So you've got 3 people shooting at one person, and that one person manages to come out on top. So it's a risky move, but I'm really glad that it managed to work out for Powerhaus that time.
So Snappy's been going for the breach on the left side, looking at that barricade from the door earlier. Now he's going to be going for the right side breach. Gets it open immediately as he spots that it's castled off. It's 3 rounds out of 4 now that he's seen that, so be fairly familiar. And AIM holding a very tight angle, and he's bringing the Capitao LMG. AIM, a very proficient LMG player. And he could use those asphyxiating bolts to push the smoke out from in behind his cubby whenever it comes down to time to push for the site. Zappin as well, I guess, just burning ADS with a stun canister. And again, Powerhaus seem very site-centric. It doesn't look like they're doing much to go for this roam clear, although Sippin' on OJ, one of the most proficient roamers on this roster, is taking about 25 damage.
And the phone calls are going to come out as we've got 2 minutes left in this round. Powerhaus in a decent position where they have a little bit of time to gain some more info if they need to. Sippin' on OJ, once again, running all the way around the map. It looks like he was heading up towards luggage hallway, but there is potential for him to try to go security as well. So Powerhaus really just needs to lock it down, make sure that he's not able to come up for a good flank against them. But they also need to be really careful of Aviation upstairs, who has a solid angle that he's watching. And there it is. Zappin is going to shut down Sippin' on OJ. That's a big pick for Powerhaus to be getting. Minute 30 left in the round, and they have everything that they need to really make a successful push here.
Coda botches the Twitch drone shot onto the mirror, gets his drone destroyed, so the mirror facing their push, and it seems like they've gone for the entire rotate now. I'm going to claim a second life as RTC falls, and that's huge because that's a Nitro cell off the board, the only one available to Sinister. AIM still holding the backside, waiting for anyone to peek on the right side of the mirror. Now he's starting to get a little antsy, pushing in through the Sunrise entrance. Coda's Claymore will drop Aviation. The Flashbangs comes in, pushing Rudy down the hallway. And now 2 defenders on the backside. Zappin will grab Rudy, but Smurfin will trade out onto Snappy. And now Smurfin trying to retake site as the plant goes down as he's upstairs. Or sorry, the plant hasn't gone down yet. Diffuser will be recovered by not loading. He picks it up and heads towards Sunrise, still using his kill holes in the floor. He's got one directly below him. Zappin looks skyward, shuts down Smurfin. There's a tie ball game, 2-2. Or he just couldn't move. That's unfortunate.
Yikes. That was a pretty strong round from Powerhaus. It seems like Sinister is just kind of trying to do the same thing over and over again. See if maybe it'll work this time. They're going double bar again. Maybe they'll change something up this time. Nope. Yeah. So now they're going penthouse and theater. So they finally changed which site that they're going to try to defend. Maybe this will work out a little bit better for them because it seems like Powerhaus was able to tune in to exactly what they needed to do to make sure they were taking double bar there. and those were two pretty dominant rounds the Powerhouse was able to take.
Yeah, and again, it's off of kind of just ignoring the roam game coming out from Sinister. They've been very site-centric, but what they did do was relocate the attack. Instead of going for that sunrise entrance once again and just throwing bodies at a wall trying to trade, they open up the backside and let AIM hold the angle into the back site and then move over for a full office take. And it was a very good job by Zappin to hold the flank from Sippin on OJ, as he's been pretty demonstrous on his roam game and his late flanks. He's a very patient player. He knows when to strike properly. And he has decimated a lot of teams with those late roams, and he's crippled a lot of late pushes onto site with his play. So a very good job by Zappin to get the ping from a friendly droning, and then able to secure the kill onto Sippin on OJ trying to come out of the kitchen service bathroom towards Lambo. And that really secured the rest of the office push in towards Blue Bar. So Powerhouse, while I do see the strength in what they're accomplishing, I really do feel like if there was a stronger roam presence towards site, so I feel like these kill holes on the floor aren't doing enough. I see that they're there. I see that Sinister are attempting to try and have some top presence towards site with their roamers. Clearly the setup isn't working though, because Powerhouse have pushed into site twice and claimed site while the roamers are left to die.
Yeah, and this is the last round of this half, and Sinister has finally decided that they're going to go to a different bomb site and try to hold that one a little bit more successfully. It's going to be Penthouse and Theater that they're trying to defend right now. So they're on the second floor. They don't need to maintain control of both the second and first floor. First floor control on this site, you know, it's useful, but it's not something that you'll see teams spending a lot of utility focusing on. You know, they've got the both mirror windows inside of Theater looking towards Penthouse. They're making sure they can keep an eye on that big window. They're making sure that they're able to get anybody that might try to drop in through the bathroom. And Aviation has this tiny little slit that he's looking through. You can see right there. He's looking right out towards DJ Balcony through that big window on VIP to see if anybody tries to peek that or tries to vault in through that window so he can shut them down immediately. And it's tough to fight against because you need to make sure that you're landing your shot through this little crack that you have to aim at faster than he's able to just pull his trigger. So it's a solid angle for him to be holding, but this RTC cutting it close. That fire arrow from AIM almost taking him down. Sippin on OJ is pretty low on health as well, but the Doc is going to go ahead and going to heal up RTC. So he's still sitting over here going to fire some shots at the Capitao, but nothing really going to connect just yet. AIM is going to fall, actually, to Smurfin, who did run out the main door there. That's a big no-no. You cannot be losing control of that main door and dying to a run out from there.
Kodo trying to retrade that back onto Smurfin as he came up the Theater stairs, unable to land the shots through the window, and he'll fall off the balcony. And Sippin on OJ with a long shot of Dreams, going to drop, not loading with the one tap. And now it's down to a 5v3. Sippin on OJ is the only one really down on health now, and he's way off site. 40 seconds left from the push coming from Powerhouse in towards the objective. And Sippin on OJ is still going to try and cripple this defense or attack from behind. Kodo will shut him down. It's down to 30 seconds on the board, and Powerhouse still down a man. Still have Smurfin on the roam game on the Theater stairs all the way down. Zappin's going to drop RTC. That was the mirror and a Nitrocell off the board. The plant goes down somehow at the big window. A flank comes in on top of Hatch, but Smurfin and Aviation both claim victims. Rudy drops Snappy with the shotgun, and Sinister to take the first half, 3-2.
Some celebration there from Aviation, who I'm assuming jumped out the window to land the kill that he needed to get there. But Sinister actually held really well on that site. Sippin on OJ with that, it was Sippin that got that long shot, right? Yeah, the Jaeger got the long shot. That was beautiful. That was a masterpiece in the making. But yeah, so 2-3 starting right now on the second half. Sinister up by 1. Powerhouse picking kitchen and service entrance first. So both teams so far opting to go with their first sites being ones where they need to maintain control of the first and second floor.
Holy soft breach coming out from Sinister. Buck, Ash, and Zofia. They really want to, it looks like anyway, head topside to VIP and up to Penthouse and rip up the floor on site. and just try and displace as many anchors as possible. So it's going to be up to the roam game of Powerhaus, which should be zapping and not loading on the roam game, with Coda kind of on a soft roam close to site, but with the ability to help out some roamers. I'm really... that is a powerful lineup if they do manage to get their way into VIP to start wreaking havoc on both AIM and Snappy when playing on site.
Yeah, I think this was a pretty solid read from Sinister. They brought a lot of hard breach. I don't know if this is just the lineup that they like always bring for attacking on Coastline, but when you're attacking kitchen and service, that is huge. If they had a sledge on top of it, then I would know for a fact that they somehow read Powerhouse's minds and we're like, yeah, they're going downstairs. Just bring everything that we can to destroy the entire map.
Pretty shocked there was no shield brought out from Sinister after the non-stop 5 straight Monties we saw from Rudy Cat on Oregon. I guess Coast maybe isn't their most favorable shield map, and it doesn't really play that great to shields as Oregon does. Not as many confined corridors and a lot of crossfires that defenders can establish from pretty far across the map, like we just saw with Sippin' on OJ in that last round. A lot of breachable walls that provide extremely long angles that you can't always account for as that shield player. You'd be doing 360s the whole time if you're trying to think of them all. Phone calls coming out pretty early from Powerhouse, from Sinister. Pretty early on, RTC trying to get a hold on anyone who was roaming topside, and Powerhouse have evacuated the top. They're reinforcing Hookah, and they've got to dodge pretty quickly.
And it looks like Sinister is in just the position that they want to be in. They're getting a lot of control on this top floor here. You've got Smurfin sitting on this canopy of Courtyard and looking in towards Blue Bar. He did not catch anything onto not loading, though. It looks like Aviation is taking a little bit of damage. He did step on that goo mine that was on Blue Stairs over there, and there's another goo mine that's going to go off inside of Office. That's going to alert not loading and Zappin that there's an attacker in there. Sippin' on OJ, though, is going to land the kill onto Zappin. He's going to get shot at from the Legion, but he's going to win that fight. Not loading is going to fall. It's going to be a 3 versus 5 right now. Sippin' on OJ being pretty low on health, but he's still alive, and that alone is dangerous enough. Coda over by main lobby, trying to watch for anybody to push through Sunroom and security, but it looks like Sinister is going to kind of commit towards a push from Blue Bar, and up top you've got Aviation still just ripping through that floor, trying to find anything that he can on some of these anchors. But you got Snappy down there with a shotgun, just kind of firing back at him, saying, hey, I can break that stuff too.
A minute down on the board, or a minute left, sorry, on the board. It's still a 5v3 in favor of Sinister. They're slowed up a little bit, and they do have to worry about Coda going for a full flank now. Looks like the Ash of Sippin' on OJ is holding the flank from Courtyard in towards Blue Bar. And he was for a minute. The plant is going down at the front kitchen door. The castle barricade on kitchen window will get opened up. Coda needs to come in from behind immediately. The plant goes down. RTC drops Coda, so now it's down to the anchors of AIM and Snappy. The Smoke and the Maestro on a 2v5, trying to fight their way out of a phone booth, stuck inside a site. Smurfin drops AIM. It's all to the Smoke of Snappy now, trying to fight his way out of service. He's got nowhere to go. They've got him from above. They got him from the courtyard. They got him from the hallway, and they've got him from inside site. It'll be the thermite of Rudy taking down Snappy, and it's a lead extended for Sinister.
Sinister up 4-2 right now, putting themselves in a solid position to start up this half. 2 more rounds, and that is going to be the end of this matchup. Powerhouse really needs to kind of, I think some of those, not Snappy and not loading need to wake up a little bit right now if Powerhouse really does want to come back from this. I always say frags are not everything. Don't go kill hunting, all of that. It's important. But against a team like Sinister, where all of the players are going to be fairly consistent, they're going to be dropping kills. And even if they're not dropping kills, they're going to land a few shots on you, and then their teammate is going to be right there to land the last few finishing shots on you. So against a team like Sinister, all of Powerhouse needs to be in a solid performance. They need to be putting up a solid performance if they really want to, take a map against Sinister. It looks like Powerhouse going hookah and billiards now after unsuccessfully defending kitchen and service entrance.
Something I used to harp on a little bit was the fact that casters could see both attacking and defensive lineups simultaneously at the beginning of the round, and that we as casters could predict kind of what was going to happen throughout a round, and not necessarily have too much information. Like, we're putting an unfair amount of pressure on the players to make the same calls that we are. That's not the case anymore. We have the reveal phase. We saw the soft breachers, the same soft breachers that are coming out from Sinister this round as well. If you're Powerhaus and you're seeing those 5 operators come out, there was no 6 pick. They have no way of knowing that. However, they take one of those soft breachers out of there. You still have 2 very powerful soft breachers to rip the floor. Why are you giving top floor in 40 seconds? That's my question. You had 2 roamers topside and 1 ready to flank up a staircase to come help you, to stand your ground, to hold above sight. As soon as Aviation got into VIP with the buck, it was like shooting fish in a barrel. Just popping him from one site to the next, back and forth and back and forth. He took 1 shotgun shot to the foot. That was all the damage he sustained from that as well. Nobody was able to come back up for a flank. Nobody was able to really even slow down that push. Not loading it to take down, sipping on OJ to start things off. So Powerhaus having a better start to the round. But I really got to question the read from Powerhaus early on in that round to evacuate and give up the top floor so easily.
I think at that point it comes down to how I'm not sure who the IGL is for Powerhaus, but I think it comes down to how well the IGL knows their players, and the call comes down to, okay, can my players win these gunfights up there, or at least survive long enough to really delay them? And for us, we can say, yeah, they've got a lot of soft breach, just, you know, make sure that they don't get the second floor. But for them, they're thinking, okay, we need to keep our guys alive, because if we don't, then we're going to be a massive disadvantage going into the later aspect of this round. Zappin is going to be downed, but not loading saves his life, and then is going to fall to RTC. So the Doc is down behind, or the Rook was down, and RTC is going to finish out that kill. It's going to be put to a 3 versus 3 right now. The minute 20 left on the board. RTC at half health, and most of Powerhaus really just sitting at full health.
Backed off to site. Coda was that close room, was going back and forth, and he's going to be coming up the cool vibe stairs to support Snappy. The breach coming out onto the VIP wall to open up an angle and towards behind the bar of A-bomb and billiards. Rudy going to hop out now. A minute left on the board, and both teams in a good position to take the round, honestly. There's not really, it's going to be up to whoever makes the first move and who can progress faster. If Sinister can start aggressing onto site and maybe even send a rotate over to Aquarium to try and go for the smoke plant on that side. Spray's coming out from the hookah balcony by Rudicat, who has diffuser in hand, so it looks like the plant's going to be coming for directly into hookah, where 2 defenders are stacked. I'm not really sure what this read is, and Snappy's going to shut him down. Rudy's going to fall. It's diffuser lost on the balcony, and the remaining 2 attackers are just going to try and push hallway. Aim gunning down. RTC's going to down him, but not finish him off just yet with that LMG of Maestro. It's all up to Smurfman now. He's going to be rezzing RTC with 20 seconds left on the board, and they're just going to have to rush and go for the frags. Diffuser is lost. They can't go for the plant. Last phone calls coming out from the Dokkaebi of RTC. The smoke canisters are going to repel them back even further for longer. They're going to have to push through and take the damage. RTC going to get finished off on the SMG-11, and Hipfire spraying wildly his aim, but it'll be Snappy cutting down both with the SMG-11, and Powerhaus live to fight another day. They battle it back. It's a 4-3 scoreline in favor of Sinister.
I know I've said it multiple times tonight. I'll keep saying it though. It's encouraging to see Powerhaus. You know, this is their first match in CCS for this season. This is their first match in CCS at all with this lineup, and it's encouraging to see how strong they stay no matter what the odds are. I mean, they're up against an undefeated team right now. They are up against most of Sinister wins gunfights like it's nothing. They're a pretty powerful team to go against, and Powerhaus is just sitting here, and yeah, they inherited an unfortunate record, but they're gonna show that record is definitely not theirs. Because a team like Powerhaus would never, in CCS right now, they would never have an 0-6 record. And it's really encouraging to see the team as they are right now.
As much as I would like to throw constant praise at Power, I really got to put that round on Rudy. I don't know what he was doing rotating to hookah balcony. I agree with you. Powerhaus is actually putting up a lot of good rounds. They look solid fundamentally. I think maybe the pressure's getting to them and they're starting to slow down a little bit in their rounds, especially on attack. We've seen so far their attack rounds on Oregon and their attack rounds on Coastline thus far have looked very shaky and slow. Their defenses, however, you know, they're doing okay. I don't know what the hell that tower pick was on Oregon. We're going to ignore that. And I don't know what that rotation was from Rudy. Diffuser alone, 30 seconds left, and you die. Snappy picks up the last 3 kills in the round, and he goes off. And you killed your team's attack at that point. Rotate Aquarium. Rotate, or just don't even rotate. Just use the smoke grenades to cut off the angle and push and try and take bar. Do something than just shoot your team in the foot by losing Diffuser and accomplish nothing on the hookah balcony.
Mistakes are going to be made no matter what team it is that's going to be playing. But admittedly, when Sinister does make these mistakes, Powerhaus does... Whoa! Zappin is going to get the headshot onto Aviation, going for the fight right now, and he's going to win the fight against RTC before being traded out by Sippin, and Not Loaded is going to take Smurf, and that's putting it to a 4 versus 2 already. Sinister falling like non-stop here. I mean, Zappin in the perfect position for those 2 attackers that were pushing into Sunrise there, and RTC had pulled up. He was going to ring the phones, and he actually had to cancel out of that animation to try to go for that fight. That was brutal against Sinister there. So Powerhaus is in a pretty solid spot for this round. There's 2 minutes left still, and it's a 4 versus 2, and they've really stalled out this attack.
Well, one of the biggest issues they had on Oregon was their roam game was just non-influential. They did nothing. They died in 30 seconds on Oregon multiple times over and over again. This time, you know what? They take the gunfight to Sinister and they win. I'll give them full props for it. They did a wonderful job. You still have a hard breacher on the board, unfortunately, for Sinister if you're Powerhaus. Ash and a Thermite, a duo that could honestly still win this round. However, Powerhaus have put themselves in an amazing position to tie things up, and they've looked really strong on their defenses now. I'm really surprised by that aggression as well. A team that doesn't really bring out that early aggression too often, and yet they saw that Sinister were coming into the building quite early, maybe not pre-joining everything possible. Now coming up the theater stairs, Not Loading to take a second victim as Rudy falls. It's Diffuser sipping on OJ, and I trade it all the way from Aquarium. How? Okay. Interesting. I guess Not Loading peeked over just far enough into luggage or behind the luggage crate to open up an angle for the back of his head to be shot. A Maestro going to be zapping, sipping on OJ from the top of theater stairs, covering Diffuser. He's 1v3 currently. He's got the Ash charge to destroy it, but Aim's covering at the corner of the hallway. Snappy as well could be peeking out. OJ takes it to Cam, recovers Diffuser, comes back up the stairs, and Aim is just waiting for the perfect time to strike, as this is all but over for Sinister unless Powerhaus completely throw it. Snappy gonna fall, but Aim's gonna be right there for his cover, cutting him down as he steps into the barbed wire, and Powerhaus have tied things up 4-4.
Yeah, it was a solid move from Powerhaus to have that crossfire set up at the end there. And I have to give it to Powerhaus. They're taking full advantage of Sinister's mistakes. Admittedly, yeah, Powerhaus is making mistakes too, and Sinister is making mistakes that are giving Powerhaus rounds, but a mistake doesn't just simply give someone the round. You know, the other team has to be smart enough to notice that mistake and move in on it and take full advantage of it when they're able to. So that's something that we've seen Powerhaus be able to do for multiple rounds now, and when they do notice a mistake from Sinister, they just pounce right on top of it and they take full advantage of it.
So, heading back to Hookah and Billiards, Zappin going to be swapping off the Rook, going to be heading to Vigil, as he initially tried to play inside of the bookshelf corner in VIP the last time I defended Hookah. I kind of absolutely forgot how to use a mouse and missed the buck, as he did have the ACOG up close, which is unfortunate, but missed every shot on the buck and got eventually killed off by the Dokkaebi of RTC coming in. So I think he's going to swap up the positioning and try and go for a more lethal late roam. And he and Coda really need to work together on that roam game. We saw the roam game come out in spades last round, and it set them up beautifully. It's a double-edged sword, though. If you lose that engagement like you did on Oregon, you saw how the 3v5s went. But Hookah, Billiards, I think it's up to Sinister to really adjust their attack on this round. It wasn't really Powerhaus giving them anything too difficult to deal with. It was Sinister kind of just not executing the attack properly.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, we'll see if Sinister is able to learn from their mistakes, though. Sinister is one of the teams that does seem to be a little bit better when it comes to adapting after they mess something up.
Hello.
Zappin running out and spotting most of the attacking team. I think actually all of the attacking team, so most of the attacking team. And landing a few shots on Aviation, I think. But now Zappin is going to drop Smurf. And how is Zappin still in a position where he's able to take out these guys while they're still outside? They saw him run out, and they're still allowing him to have these positions where he can just look out a window and kill somebody. That is disastrous for Sinister already.
Losing the Zofia, it's a lot of utility off the board. It's a gun off the board, and it stops your momentum. It stops any kind of train you were trying to roll and come back in and take control of the game. You still have a 3-man roam to deal with on this Hookah Billiards defense, and Powerhaus have established their roam game a little better this time. The Vigil ping is going to be coming out onto the drones of Sinister, trying to drone out Theater. And then you got to be wary, as it's not only Zappin, who's actually down below. He's over in kitchen with Coda, as it's not loading the top of the Theater stairs, so I think he's been droned out concurrently now by 2 separate drones. He's going to go for the rotate down, just the breach charge comes out onto his position on the Theater stairs balcony. So rotating back down towards the Lambo. Coda going to cut down Rudy. That's the hard breach off the board. The phone calls come up from RTC just a little bit late, as Coda's at the bottom of Cool Vibe stairs. Aviation going to trade it out onto Coda as he's grabbing his phone. So now the Powerhaus roam game still stalling out Sinister a decent amount, but they've lost 1 member to continue on.
Yeah, a minute 15 left in the round. Snappy goes to shut off his phone, but Aviation was right below him, gets a little bit of damage. Sipping on OJ, now finding that loading, and RTC finds Zapping, putting it to a 2 versus 3, where Powerhaus used to hold the advantage. They are now down a man. And they're trying to hold down site. You've got Aim and Snappy both near site, trying to hold it down. Sipping on OJ, droning out Luggage and Aquarium. Aviation is going to go ahead and try to open up some more of this floor potentially, or not. He's going to head outside. He's going to jump upstairs, and he's going to go ahead and get ready to open up this big window and try to apply some pressure towards, Aquarium over here. I believe they've droned out Aim, who is inside of Aquarium behind that bar over there, and they're really going to put a lot of pressure on him now. You've got Sipping on OJ running down this hallway, making his way towards this kill, and Aim is actually going to win that fight with a headshot immediately onto Sippin. Aviation taking a lot of damage as well. Aim is going to take down Aviation, but Aim has now been down. RTC is going to finish him off. It's Snappy versus RTC. A smoke canister is going to come out to try to deny RTC from getting in. But it looks like it actually landed a little bit short. Some ADSs around to stop some of these smoke grenades from coming out. 7 seconds on the board. He has to try to go for the plant or the kill. He's going to rush up and try to go for the kill straight through the wall. It's not going to land. And there's the shots. RTC is going to land the headshot on the Snappy, and Sinister is going to take round 9 by the little hair on the tip of their chin.
Holy Jesus, RTC. You could not have cut that one closer, but honestly, it was the right decision. There were 6 seconds left on the clock when he made it into planting range, and he said, screw this. Even if I try and put the plant down, he's going to rush me at 2 or 1, and it's not going to go well. It's the obvious plant spot as soon as he walked in the room. They had a Maestro as well inside of Aquarium who was going to be calling out his position. He had to go for the kill, and by the grace of God and a little bit of luck and a lot of skill, RTC rushes in through the hallway, clears to the hookah door with a quick peek, locates him, and lands the headshot with basically nothing on the clock. A wonderful clutch job by RTC to push this to match point, series point, and heading back to Hookah or Powerhaus, bringing the same 5 attackers are Sinister as they want to close this thing out. Powerhaus backs against the wall in their first CCS game in Season 3.
If you're Sinister right now, you're going into this round thinking, okay, this is our chance to lock it out, finish up this match, and move on to the next one. They waited, a couple of hours to get this match started. They got into the match, and Powerhaus has been putting up one hell of a fight. And I think Sinister is really kind of getting ready, based on the way that they've been playing. They're definitely getting ready to try to close this out and just get it done with and move on to the next one. But Powerhaus does not want to let them. Powerhaus is going into this with the mindset of there's nothing that can stop us no matter how hard they try. And that's the mindset that you really need to go into any of these matches with. So, I mean, this next round is going to be a big decider here. If we go into overtime, it's going to be tough on both of the teams. And if Sinister manages to take it, then it's going to be the GGs from both teams no matter what, because they've both fought their hearts out so far tonight.
3 pings coming down on Coda. He almost snaps and takes off the head of his teammate Smoke. Snappy at the top of the Cool Vibe stairs, who also has to expend a toxic gas canister to save his life. Or prep there from Coda as he almost gets gunned down in the back of his head, dropping down an alibi hologram. He evacuates to Blue Bar over towards Office, and this attack speeding up for Sinister. Really gets slowed down slightly by Zappin as he'll shut down his opponent on OJ and Aviation, going for the third. Coda drops Smurfin. It's all down to RTC and Rudy in the bathroom. RTC will claim 1. Zappin will fall. There's 2 more roamers to deal with in not loading, and Coda as they station themselves in the Office and in the Blue Bar. Rotating back and forth. Coda's actually in Courtyard now in the middle of the map, trying to catch anyone on a rotation through the long angles. Pre-fire's coming out from Snappy towards the bottom of Cool Vibes. RTC holding that angle, going to be rotating towards the hallway. Coda comes in for the flank. Lambo drops Rudy, and now it's all down to RTC once again in a clutch situation. Much taller task to deal with than last round. Diffuser's down. Lambo answering the phone is Coda in behind the bar, or the front desk. RTC drops them. Now down to a 1v3, recovering the diffuser, no defender in sight to really stop this from happening. Closest is loading downstairs. AIM looking through kill holes in the floor to see if RTC will get sloppy and walk underneath. RTC slow clearing everything, as I'm not sure if he's even got a drone left in hand. He was using a lot of drones earlier on that initial clear to find Coda and go for that clear of the downstairs, which inevitably resulted in 2 men dying in Lambo. He's trying to recover this for Sinister. A minute left from the board, and Power just trying to hold sight.
And Powerhaus is in a solid position right now. They really just need to hold it. They have the intel on where RTC is. They've got this Maestro over here. It's going to look down Luggage Hallway and call him out. You've got not loading. Looks to be reacting to the call-outs for it. RTC is in a tough spot right now. There's a lot that he has to do if he really does want to clean this out, and it's going to be really tough for him. He has to go for these frags, has to drop this Maestro that's sitting right behind the bomb, and it's AIM on this Maestro. We've seen him pull off some terrifyingly dangerous things. Some damage going on to RTC, and there it is. AIM is going to land the shots onto RTC, and Powerhaus is going to push it into overtime.
Powerhaus in the back of their defense, and the aggression they exemplified in early rounds in the or earlier in the round, in the later rounds, I should say, for Powerhaus, propelling them further, keeping a strong fight up against Sinister. Now, sending Coastline into overtime. They will start on defense once again by the luck of a coin flip in game. It's all random. But heading back to Penthouse Theater will be their position of choice to defend, to try and maybe push this to a map number 3, which, by the way, if nobody's hit the maps command in chat, it will be Villa, which would be mighty interesting to see between these 2 teams.
Yeah, I'm not sure that either team is really prepared for Villa. I'm not sure how many teams have made an effort to prepare a lot for Villa. It's mostly defaults and stuff that I'd be expecting to see, but considering it was the decider because no team banned it out, neither of these teams banned it out, maybe they're not worried about it, or maybe they just weren't expecting it to go to a map 3. Who knows?
Yeah, the ban's coming out, and Villa was the decider. It was left to last, and maybe Sinister going on their run. Maybe they haven't felt like map 3 was even going to be a possibility, especially going up against a team that hasn't consistently played against this caliber of team in a league that they've seen, I'll say. They definitely look like they've been playing against very potent competition to practice against with scrims and other league games before. This is not a bad roster by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't think Sinister really underestimated them. I think Villa, like you said, everyone's kind of worked out some defaults that they want to implement, but I don't think many teams are really scrimming Villa too actively. I don't think many teams are really comfortable on Villa just yet. It really takes a little bit to become fully fluent on a new map, and we see it every new iteration on every map that comes out with the DLCs. It takes a little while for comp to really accept it into the pool and constantly use it.
Yeah, I mean, we're on Coastline right now, but season 1 of CCS, every single night I was begging to see Coastline because I have enjoyed Coastline since it was first released. But we would see it once in a blue moon, if we were lucky. Even once in every other blue moon, you could say. It was just so uncommon. But now we see it being, a main pick for some teams, and one day we could see the same thing with Villa. But it's definitely going to, like you said, it definitely does take some time. And it takes a lot of practice for these teams to be ready to do something like that. But see that Monty on Rudy. I actually, I just noticed that. But yeah, so now they're bringing out the shields. So that shows that Sinister, I think Sinister might be a little worried about this match against Powerhaus now, because they have resorted to bringing that shield on Rudy Cat. And it's something that, obviously, it's a powerful tool for them, but maybe they didn't want to bring it out unless they really had to. And this could be the round where they're deciding that they have to. First phone call is going to come out, but really nothing is going to come from that. The attacker's still just kind of hanging out over here. There was some bandit tricking on the south wall here, which was pretty solid. That does lock out the defenders. One thermite charge has been taken out. Zappin is now going to find Smurfin, so that's going to be the Sophia off the board. There's a minute left, and Bandit is still here, keeping those attackers out.
Bandit trick successful as the phone call is being answered in the hallway by AIM behind that deployable shield, set up pretty perfectly, not loading it and takedown, stepping on OJ before being traded out by RTC with the SMG-12, looking skyward now through the own kill holes of the defenders, not able to find anything. Aviation, though, going to drop Zap, and that was the roaming castle, so now it's down to the site players. AIM playing in that hallway behind the deployable shield, the castle barricade stalling out the rotation even longer for Aviation, who has no thermite charges left to use. The push is going to have to come through hallways and doors. AIM holding in the hallway, the pre-fire's coming out into the RTC with the DMR of Dokkaebi to shut him down. Coda going for a flank as that bandit that was initially in theater. Snappy going to drop Aviation. That was Diffuser, recovered by Rudy Cat. The Montaigne shoved in a corner, and now he's giving the call to RTC to come in and fill. Coda drops back to VIP. The two attackers now pushing into theater. Snappy trying to deal with both at the same time. RTC takes down Snappy, though. Coda lighting up Rudy, drops the shield. Diffuser recovered by RTC. He'll run back into sight. Pistol in hand for Coda, and he's been going for the rotate on top of the bed, right beside RTC, who's dropping the plant down on top of the hatch. Just turn the corner and shoot. Coda drops him, and Powerhaus now are one round away from pushing this to Villa.
That round is going back and forth really quickly. I mean, that bandit tricking on the south wall there was fantastic. I don't often see bandit tricking on coastline. You'll put up some bandit batteries on, say, the wall between VIP and penthouse, and you'll leave those there to try to defend that wall. But that bandit tricking on that south wall was vital to this round. It took out both thermite charges, forced a full rotate from Sinister, and put them completely out of position. It's the only reason that they were able to drop Rudy was because they put him into a position where he could not completely stop both of those defenders from firing on him, and they shut him down like it was nothing. So that was very well coordinated by Powerhaus there.
So now heading to the defense will be Sinister after 6 consecutive defensive rounds for Powerhaus. Sinister electing to go to kitchen service, bringing out the standard ops that we've seen. No one gonna 6-pick out, so we're locked in with the 10 operators we see on the screen. And again, Powerhaus going back to their typical 5 attackers. And I'm a little surprised again that we're not seeing a little bit more of implementation of some soft breach like we saw from Sinister.
Sorry, I'm still trying to take in what RTC just did. They're so confident. Like, Sinister right now is so confident that there's going to be no push from service entrance that they're setting up their mirror window to look. I think they're going to set up a mirror to look from service towards kitchen. So he has that reinforcement inside of service looking towards kitchen.
It's nothing terrible. It looks like they're trying to really hard hold Sunrise and Blue Bar. Maybe an extension into office that they want to get ballsy with it. Rudy also making a rotate into courtyard. So Sinister, yeah, implementing a setup that we've seen a few times from a few different teams, really. And Powerhaus, it's a bit of a trap to go immediately for that sun or service door, as that mirror is going to be stalling them out for a little bit. Looking through the drone hole will be AIM, and Powerhaus again getting very site-centric on their attacks. Although a few lucky picks onto the site, and it'd be hard for the roamers to come back and retake into kitchen and service. It could go their way. They just need to manage those picks onto the anchors.
Coda's still up on the roof, making sure that there's no roamers running around on that second floor, but Sippin' on OJ is sitting inside a penthouse. He does have that big window open, so that gives him the potential to vault outside if he needs to. He's also going to hear, it's going to be a lot easier for him to hear any footsteps of people running around out there and give those call-outs to his teammates. RTC sitting inside of the bathroom over here, looking towards service entrance. They have that shield there defending him. Zappin is going to get a pick onto Aviation. That puts Powerhaus in a pretty solid start. And I mean, Zappin jumped inside of Kitchen to land that kill. That's not something that Sinister can allow if they want to win this round, but they just let it happen. So, and it's Aviation on the castle that's going to fall. So I don't know if he still had his impacts, but those impacts would have been useful for rotates. Aim with that LMG is going to drop Sippin' now, putting it to a 5 versus 3 with 1:30 left on the clock.
Another ankle or fall in RTC, and that's the mirror off the board. It's up to Rudy to really deny the plant. Zappin shuts down Smurf, and that was the only left roamer. Now it's a 1v5 for Rudy to fight his way out of. Takes down not loading. He's down Zappin in the process as well. Firebolts coming in, both smoke grenades choking out the attackers trying to push in. Snappy's going to be getting the plant down. Rudy claims another victim in Coda as Powerhaus are getting a little aggressive. Plant going down once again in the default hopping hallway. Rudy drops another one. It's down to a 1v2. He drops Snappy with the shotgun. Rudy's brought it down to a 1v1. Heading back to Lambo behind desk. Aim has the ability to recover the diffuser, but instead he's going for the pick. Walks back into sight, and Rudy hiding in behind the Lambo front desk. He has a mirror to his advantage to spot him out. If he's smart enough, he's not going to pick up the diffuser either. He's trying to go for this frag immediately. Has the mirror. He's wary of the positioning. He seems to know exactly where Rudy is. Launches the flashbang into the ADS, peeking above, and Rudy Cat finishes the 1v5. Sinister extending overtime, and Powerhaus throwing away map number 3.
Are you kidding me? RTC, or no, it was Rudy, sorry. Rudy just completely dominated Powerhaus. I mean, they had every opportunity to take the advantage and split his aim and force him into a position that he would not be able to win. But one by one, they just walked at him. And you cannot walk at a smoke with that SMG-11, especially in the hands of a player like Rudy. That was incredible to watch. I'm pretty much at a loss for words, really trying to describe it, but there was absolutely no reason for Powerhaus to lose that round. And in the end, all of their mistakes piled up against them, and it was too tall of a hill for them to climb.
It was over. It was over. We were going to Villa. It was done. And then it wasn't.
Especially jumping over that wall from supply out into the hallway there. How does that even happen? How does he get away with that when there is an attacker sitting right there that should have had the advantage on that shot?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm at a loss. That was... like you said, as much as that was individual skill from Rudy, that was just... Why is everyone taking 1v1s is my question. I get it's a 5v1. Everyone's super hyped. But don't throw it all away all at once.
In the words of Intero, stop frag hunting.
There's an idea, boys. There is an idea.
We are going to be extending this overtime. We are guaranteed at least 2 more rounds from this matchup, though. It is Powerhaus versus Sinister. 6-6 right now, moving into this round. 2:30 left on the clock, so only 30 seconds have really gone by in this round. And it looks like Sinister is in a solid position. They're moving into the building, getting as much ground as they want. But they've got Coda sitting. Coda is floating around over by the lobby, trying to roam, maybe stop Sinister from pushing him. But Sippin' on OJ is going to find the first kill onto Aim, and that's going to put Sinister in a solid position starting off this round because they're already in Aquarium and getting ready to try to go for a push and try to get a plant down on this site. You've got not loading down at the end of luggage hallway, but his phone is going to be ringing. He's got Coda there trying to support him, but you've got the attackers just sitting there waiting for the defenders to try to come floating around the corner.
Looks like Zappin's going to be trying to peek this corner with the ACOG advantage on the dock. Rudy's going to be sending a drone. Zappin's going to drop Rudy, who is droning for him, but sipping right there for the refrag. Yash recover the diffuser. You still have Coda to worry about in not loading, missing his shots across the way. Still unable to land the headshot on Sippin' on OJ. So you got two roamers. It's just Snappy on site. Sippin' on OJ taking more damage from Coda now, coming for the luggage flank. They still have one attacker in support coming up the luggage hall, or sorry, on the aquarium balcony in RTC. Sippin' on OJ is pushing in towards site to go for the plant, and it's just Snappy to try and repel this. The plant is going down in behind the A-bomb. Sippin' on OJ is not taking any damage. He's going to finish the plant behind the A-bomb. Aviation drops not loading. He's down to a 2v4. Sippin' on OJ has down to 1 HP. Snappy just needs to tag him once, and Coda needs to come in for the flank, laying down in behind the bar in aquarium. You still have one covering from below. Snappy drops one. That was the very lit Ash, down to a 2v3. Time ticking down against Powerhaus as they're running out of options. Coda's still trying to peek the top of theater stairs window towards luggage. RTC just holding the cross, making sure no one can come back. Drops Coda with a one shot, and Aviation sends Snappy to the grave. And just when we looked like we were heading to map number 3, Powerhaus once again backs against the wall, need to fight out of this to even preserve their chances on coastline.
RTC has 17 kills right now. Zappin has 16 and Coda has 10. So if you're looking, these scoreboards are so balanced between both teams. And it shows in the round count too. I mean, the rounds have been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. There's potential for this next round to go to Powerhaus, and we're going to go and continue into overtime even further. It almost seems like at this point, as things stand right now, these two teams are balanced. They're equals. They're making similar mistakes, or their gun skill is equal, and there's no telling who's going to come out of a gunfight on top. And it's just so back and forth. I don't know how this is going to go, but Sinister seems to be trying to close this out. They're going in for those aggressive plays. I mean, that round was very fast in terms of the initial attack and getting into position at first. And that's what you see from Sinister when you know that they're ready to shut down a match. They're trying their best right now to end it so they can go to bed. And so we can go to bed too.
Yeah, it's 1:45 in the morning. These games started pretty late. I'm sure everyone's pretty tired, and maybe that contributes to some of the mistakes we've seen on both sides of the board. And looks like Sinister again going back to their standard setup topside for their blue bar sunrise bar defense. Same attacking ops coming out, although a roll swap coming is not loading now, heads to the Dokkaebi roll. So interesting swap there. I'm not sure how much effect it'll have on the round. As we've seen Powerhaus, the real success on these attacks for them came on the very site-centric play. The initial, we're going to put one person upstairs to try and deal with just any rotates back towards site, and then the rest of the 4 attackers are going to be aggressing towards the objective very quickly. They're not going to be concerning themselves with the rum game very much. Again, lack of soft breach. I've been back and forth on that. I'm going to shut up about it now.
So last time we saw Sinister here, we saw Smurfin playing in the same position that he's actually in right now. He's over by the couch inside of billiards, and he was pretty dangerous up there. He did shut down quite a bit against Powerhaus, and it seems like he's in the same position. He's going to try to pull the same stunt this time. I'm not sure if Powerhaus is really going to dedicate a lot of resources to that, but it's kind of necessary. You've got Smurfin upstairs right now, and he's in a powerful position to shut down plants that you could go for inside of, blue bar, because he's probably got a few holes up there that you can look through. It looks like Powerhaus's main focus is really just office right now.
So heading to go for the same attack that won them their last attack onto this site. Heading to go for that office take, and shots through the wall, actually landing twice onto the chest of Rudy Cat. Couple centimeters higher, and that would have been his head being removed through the wall. Set them up beautiful for that push. That was the smoke being lit. Now kill holes from above look to be in a better position this time from Smurfin to actually have some effect towards these attackers coming into sight trying to go for this plant. Sippin' on OJ with that aim LMG position nicely behind the bar, and they don't have aim in position outside the sunrise entrance. Oh, they do now. He's rotated over to the Sunrise entrance using the asphyxiating bolts, but as he's got the crossbow in hand, sipping on OJ peeks him. Coda will trade one onto onto Rudy, but the plant gets down inside Blue Bar. A peek from the Sunrise window. Not loading wins that with the SMG-12. Powerhaus lose another member as Aviation will tie things up man count wise. Zapping going to trade it right back onto Aviation. Down to a 3v2. Snappy, drops RTC. It's all up to Smurf coming. Courtyard being gunned down from two different angles. Powerhaus extend it. We go further into overtime on Coastline. And I'm really getting sick of every game I cast going super deep into OT.
This is the second game of the night that I'm casting going far into overtime.
This was my Wednesday too.
I'm just glad that I don't have work tomorrow. I'm sure I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that my girlfriend is asleep right now because it's 2 a.m. We have 500 viewers somehow. I'm not complaining.
What are you people doing? Go to
I'm
bed.
Just confused. I'm not complaining at all.
Why are you still here?
Yeah. 7-7 right now. Powerhaus versus Sinister on Coastline. Powerhaus going kitchen and service entrance, even though it didn't necessarily work out for them the last time they went there. Sinister does get very fast map control upstairs, but that was mainly because Powerhaus really just kind of relinquished control to them early on in the round. Do you think that the same mistake is going to be made during this round? Do you think Powerhaus is going to dedicate more resources to holding upstairs?
I think they had the resources initially. We saw the reinforcements. We saw the castle barricades. It was the decision from whoever made the call to get out. It was 40 seconds deep, and everyone just got out of Dodge. They bailed immediately. As soon as they saw a couple people pressuring from the outside of the map, no one from Sinister had actually walked in the building yet, and everyone on Powerhaus just went, okay, bye. We don't need this anymore. So maybe Powerhaus just actually stay upstairs, try and fight it out upstairs a little bit longer to keep that control. It also looks like they've moved their reinforcements. The last time we saw them defend this site, they reinforced the top of Cool Vibe stairs to the hookah wall and then bailed. This time they're reinforcing the VIP walls. They've got a rotation to Pent now. So now it's looking more like Powerhaus are going to be invested in holding that top side. Coda's going to be the real decider coming in for those flanks, as he really is that ghost roamer. He goes back and forth between supplying the roamers with support and then coming back to site to help the anchors.
We'll say Powerhaus. There's 3 of them playing upstairs right now. So you've got 3 defenders upstairs. It's going to be 2 on site. Zappin now is going to take out Smurfin. Smurfin doing a lot of work on that Zofia so far tonight. So that could be a huge pick towards this round.
Located by attackers.
We'll see how the rest of this round goes after losing that. But I think Sinister now really is going to have to dedicate some resources to getting rid of all of these roamers upstairs. Sometimes when you've got 3 roamers upstairs, and you've got only 2 people on site, you can say, no, I'm just going to go on site. There's only 2 people there. Who's going to stop me? But you can't always do that. Snappy is going to take out Sippin. Rudy takes out Snappy. Not loading, taking down Aviation as well now, putting it to a 3 versus 2. Everything happening very quickly. And, Dokkaebi running past that kitchen window, almost getting shot. But the diffuser is going to be planted, and now Rudy is inside of service entrance, heading towards bathroom. Phones are going to be called. That's going to delay the defenders on this retake just a little bit longer. It is a 3 versus 2 in favor of Powerhaus, and then Rudy evens it out actually by taking down Coda. There's a castle barricade now, and not loading is now going to get shut down by RTC, and Rudy is going to take down Zappin. That's going to be Sinister taking this round of overtime, and I mean Powerhaus has to try to bring it back now if they really want to stay in it much longer.
Okay, so both these teams taking pages out of each other's books at this point. We saw the first time around it was Powerhaus learning from Sinister on their roam clear, their roam game, just trying to model their roaming aspect of the game off of Sinister. And then now we're seeing Sinister take a page out of Power with that site-centric take. Send 2 people into the kitchen window, trade out until there's no one left on site, and hold site. There were 3 roamers upstairs. They all got caught off site. Really unfortunate that Zappin comes out of Lambo door, lights up RTC, can't finish the kill. Then he dies. And then not loading jumps out of the double window Pent to go for that rotate through the service door, and he's not looking for RTC. He's going straight for the door while he's detected you got a call maybe 3 seconds ago that RTC's there. Just an unfortunate attempt at the retake there, and again, they lose their anchors on site by that quick aggression onto site from Sinister, something that Powerhaus implemented earlier on this map, and again, we see Powerhaus with their backs against the wall in their first matchup, down 8-7 on Coastline. If they win this round, they'll extend it further, but also the biggest thing is here, if Powerhaus can somehow win this game on Coastline, we go to a map 3. Sinister end it right here. They win this round. It's over. We're done. They win the best of 3 matchup, and Powerhaus dropped their first match in CCS this season, 0-2.
Even if they drop this 0-2, that doesn't look bad for them considering how far this match has gone. And I feel like Sinister just wanted me to eat my words in that last round because I was just saying that, yeah, you know, there's 3 people upstairs, but that doesn't mean you can go straight on the site. And they're like, hold my beer. And they just walked right in, took site, got the plant down, and won it. I mean, I'm never going to try to predict anything anymore because apparently people like just read my mind and say, no, screw you. I'll prove you wrong.
Pretty much. It's usually what happens. You say something, 5 seconds later it goes a different way. It was probably a decent thing you said. It doesn't really matter what it is. You probably said something relatively intelligent, and then just anarchy breaks out in front of you and you look like an idiot. And that's just casting. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I know. Believe me. I know. I mean, Sinister just kind of hunkering down on site right now. I think there were 2 roamers towards the west side of the map, potentially. Could be wrong about that. I thought I saw one of the outlines over towards office, which is, yeah, so it's definitely 1 roamer over by office. So, it's a pretty big roam, and I don't think Powerhaus is in position to really counter that. You got Smurfin over in office right now. Twitch, I think, is heading into Aquarium, and I don't think they've droned out Smurfin over in office. He's right beneath them, and they don't even know it. So he's in a solid position to be able to come upstairs, shut down Coda if he needs to, and then make Powerhaus scared to try to push site because they've got somebody behind him.
Penthouse Theater defense for Sinister. They've set up a little bit of an innovative shield to stop AIM from asphyxiating, bolting out RTC from his mirror. It's blocking off his angle to the floor right beside RTC. The smoke grenade's coming out now, and RTC can reciprocate with a toxic babe of his own. And the smoke grenade really just used to bait out those toxic babes. ADS is being burned by the flashbangs. The thermite snapping to take a little bit of damage there from Rudy on the smoke. That SMG-11 still a minute on the board. Last flashbang going to be coming out. Rudy turns away, but it somehow still blinds him. Aviation, though, going to gun down, not loading. And that's the Dokkaebi off the board. That's one of the smoke grenades remaining, as she did use the first one into sight. Second toxic babe comes out from Rudy, and an evil eye zapping, stopping the plant as best possible. AIM going to gun down Rudy as the plant goes down. He gets a second one with that LMG. Snappy holding in sight. Smurfin's going to have to come for the retake upstairs, but Coda guns down Aviation. Smurfin heading to the theater stairs and sipping on OJ alone inside theater. Extremely lit, spraying out towards the Lambo door. Zappin's not going to spot the rotation. He's going to hold Lambo. He's going to be in a bad spot if the rest of his teammates die. But they're in a good position to hold this. Midway on the diffuser timer, coming around the corner, spraying from the hookah or the VIP window. AIM drop sipping on OJ, but now Coda's been down to be finished off by the pistol of Smurfin. Now it's on a 1v3. Takes half his health off from the window. The LMG of AIM gunning him pretty close to death. He's 1 HP now, standing beside the diffuser. He's got nothing to do, no time. Just starts for the teabag. Zappa will clean it. And we keep on going on Coastline.
Why? This back and forth is
32 rounds.
No,
32
no,
rounds.
no.
32 rounds.
No, I already did 18 rounds earlier tonight. Handled a 3.5-hour match. It's we're on what 2.5 hours right now for this match.
Mm-hmm.
So these teams, this is an endurance test now. I said it during the last overtime match. I'm saying it now. It's an endurance test. They're evenly matched as things stand right now. The rounds are going to keep going back and forth. It's not about who's going to be able to counter strat who right now because there's no strategies that are being put into place. It's defaults with maybe a few extra roamers upstairs again, as opposed to what the regular default hold would be, and just the attack is straight to site. There's no roam clear that we're seeing at this point, because the teams are just committing the site. They're walking on the site, getting that defuse down, and then they're winning the gunfights when the defenders have to go for that retake.
Located by attackers.
It's just going to keep going back and forth if that's what we're going to keep seeing. And it's really going to come down to which team gets tired faster and is no longer able to keep their eyes open long enough to hold an angle for an entire 3 minutes, you know?
Well,
that's what it's going to come down to.
I think I disagree with the notion that there's no strategy being implemented. I do agree that the attacks are coming out very site heavy. No one's really going for that roam clear, but Coastline doesn't necessarily play that way, but it does play in a way that the roam game can be cut off easily. So the roamers are really just trying to play close to Zappin. It's going to shut down aviation to start things off. And that's early aggression in the defensive rounds that have put Powerhaus in control early in rounds. Although, a little over-aggressive maybe was the smoke of Snappy. He's going to die to sipping on OJ the Ash. And that was inside service. So, not sure if that was just on a rotation, if he was behind the grate and trying to peek out with the SMG-11. But what I will say about the innovation is that we have seen a few changes to the initial strat. Zap and hopping out the windows. I'm trying to say my point. We've seen a couple rounds where things have changed, like that deployable shield last round, blocking the asphyxiating bolts. We saw Powerhouse's defensive pen theater the last time they went. They did that rotate hole and put aim in the main hallway to behind the deployable shield, clearly expecting the theater push. There's been some innovation. Powerhaus now down in the 3v5. That was an anchor and a roamer taken off the board, which is not the usual pair. It's usually the roamers of not loading and zapping that have been falling first.
I mean, losing Snappy on that smoke, that's pretty costly. You want to be able to keep that smoke up until the execute on the site, because that's one of your best plant denial operators that you have. You don't have the Echo because he's been banned out, and Rudy is just making his way right on the site after RTC is going to drop, not loading, and then Coda is going to Pokeball sipping aim with a C4 on the Smurf, and Rudy taking down aim now. It's going to be a 1v2. Coda has to go for the retake here, and Sinister is in exactly the position that they want to be in. They've got sight. They're getting the plant down. They've got some smoke grenades covering it. They've got a ping on Castle. They know where he is, and they just need to sit tight and wait for him to peek the wrong angle. And there it is. Rudy is going to shut down Coda. Sinister is going to take another round.
Yeah, we still got at least one more left.
I need more DJ Khaled memes in chat. Need more of them.
I will say that, again, the attack is coming very poignant towards the objective, which makes things expedite a lot more than I think Powerhaus were ready for that round. They start with the aggression with Zappin peeking out the theater stairs window, takes down the buck, but then they lose the smoke. And I'd much rather trade out a buck if I'm killing off a smoke in that position. I'm not sure if they even knew that they killed the smoke or not. They knew that they got an anchor, though, and that was so crucial in the way that Powerhaus have been playing the kitchen service hold, was that they were constantly playing 3 roamers, 2 anchors. And if you pick off one anchor, it's one man on site, and the entire rotation came out from Sinister to start immediately aggressing towards the kitchen window and the service door. Again, a trade-out fest, and they have the man advantage. Coda stuck on trying to take a retake, and he loses his gunfight with the thermite. That's just a bad situation to be in if you're Coda, but it's the same situation we've seen plenty of times for all the anchors really in this game. I was going to say just for Powerhaus, but we've seen it a couple times from Sinister on their Blue Bar Sunrise defense, on their kitchen defense as well. We've seen it a couple times from both teams now, where the roamers are stuck in a position where they have to retake their own objective, facing either their own mirror windows or going against hacked Maestro Evil Eyes. It's been an interesting game of back and forth on who can actually aggress onto the objective faster.
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, and both of these teams are just going back and forth with it right now. I could not predict this match if I tried right now, and I'm not sure if that's just because I'm tired or if it's because things are just going so back and forth, but there's potential for Sinister to close it out right now. And I'm hoping that they do, because that'll be 2 18-round matches that I've casted in one night. My girlfriend actually is still awake, by the way, somehow. I don't know how.
Lucky.
I don't know how she's still awake, but she brought me over a note to encourage me to keep going. So I appreciate that little note that she brought over to me.
So
But,
what, you get moral support and I don't?
Flynn,
I'm all alone.
Chat is supporting you, okay? They don't care about me. They just care about the Walmart brand and tarot.
I love that name. All right, back to the game. We'll stop being annoying. Sunrise, or not Sunrise, Jesus. Penn Theater defense coming out from Sinister. Amir's gonna get popped by Coda. That's I actually think he hasn't had much success. He popped Amir, I believe, in the second round of the attack for this very game. So that was a while ago now. But I haven't really heard many mirrors getting popped. So I think Coda's finally finding some success with that Twitch drone, as he's been non-stop banging his head against the wall with the Twitch. Very strong rifle, don't get me wrong. He's been fragging out. Aviation the Dock playing in the middle of VIP, a very dangerous position now that he's been phone called and droned out repeatedly, and that's going to be not loading, taking down Aviation. So that's a Dock off the board that's huge. It's the ACOG gone, and that's the ability to stem up any anchors. Smurfin was playing his delayed roam. He was actually hiding down in the CCTV hallway for an extremely long time, almost 2 minutes, and now he's going to be coming for his slow flank. And even if anyone on Powerhaus has a flank drone in position as that vigil, he's going to be very confusing for anyone watching.
I mean, this is looking like Powerhaus is once again going to go and take this round. But Smurfin is in a solid position down below. They did open up that wall, which means they're probably going to go for that similar plant that they that Powerhaus went for before on this site. So maybe having, you know, that play from down below to try to deny it is going to be the game changer that needs to happen here. But I'm not entirely sure. I don't think that Powerhaus even really knows that Smurfin is down there, but who knows at this point? Things could go completely against what I'm trying to say. Smurfin does take out Snappy, though, so that's going to put it to a 4 versus 4. 20 seconds left. Diffuser is down, so it looks like Sinister is in a solid position to close this out. A smoke canister is going to go up, though, and the phone is going to ring. It's going to be not loading, pushing in. He's going to grab the diffuser, potentially go for a plant. But Rudy is sitting here. He's going to walk up, and he's oh, he had to get the melee onto not loading. Diffuser is down, and Sinister is going to win round 8. They're finally going to close out this match. Thank goodness.
It's over. It's done. And I must say, Powerhaus put up a wonderful fight. A much better job than I think anyone really gave them credit for coming into this game. GG Sinister retaining the undefeated record now.